Hello and welcome to Chinese Novel Audiobook. Explore our playlist for more captivating novels, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new audiobook. Now, let's dive into today's story. Chapter 231. The Emperor's pupil is shattered and the future reappears. Finally found it. Liu Qian almost burst into tears when watching the scene in the simulator. After so much hardship, I finally got my reward and saw hope. Although the suffering is borne by the clone, the damage is in the clone's body, and the pain is in the original body's heart. He carries the expectations and hopes of countless selves. If nothing unexpected happens, after the simulation here is over, he will have an epic enhancement. This time, I'm afraid I really won't lack anything. The value of this simulation is still rising. Liu Ruyue, who was in charge of feeding the children, saw Liu Qian's expression and thought it was because the food she cooked was so delicious, so he couldn't help but feel happy. It turns out that he likes the food I cook. I know that to capture a man's heart, you have to capture his stomach. Emperor's bone. Emperor's bone. Once upon a time, the Emperor's bone you have been searching for so hard finally appears before your eyes. Close black lens bracket. After 8 simulations and the death of 7 clones, with their foundation and efforts, you finally see the rewards. At this moment, you feel that the cracked, supreme Emperor bone in your body begins to show a sense of joy and excitement, just like a couple who have been separated for a long time and are meeting again. Open black lens bracket swish, close black lens bracket. The half of the Emperor's bone hidden in the secret passage also glowed slightly, as if responding. But the strange thing is that at this moment, you, looking at the half of the Emperor's bone in front of you, are not as excited as you imagined, but rather a little too calm. Because, at this moment, in your mind, you have already seen a beggar knocking on the rice bowl with a pair of chopsticks, howling with excitement. Liu Qian. I didn't expect it to be so easy to find this time. Looks like I'm lucky. You exhale a breath of foul air, reach out to the half-broken Emperor bone in front of you, want to take it back, start implanting it into your body, and experience the power of the complete body. Open black lens bracket swish, close black lens bracket. Just when you are about to touch the Emperor's bone, your eyes suddenly tremble, your mouth shrinks, and a stabbing pain hits you from the Emperor's eye, again. This time the pain is different from the previous one, and you almost can't help but scream out. Open black lens bracket. Ah. Close black lens bracket. Bang. The space and the picture in front of you suddenly shattered, like a mirage, and some strange changes began to occur. Your consciousness was also pulled into a strange timeline. Another prediction of the future. Another major change. Could it be, there is something wrong with the Emperor's bone? You suppress the severe pain in your eyes and the gradually blurry vision, and stare at the future that is about to happen. You can feel that the situation this time seems to be more terrifying and dangerous than before in the Great Xia Palace. Open black lens bracket boom, close black lens bracket. The next moment, you, who are in a god's perspective, saw yourself reaching out your hand and grabbing the half of the Emperor's bone in the altar, and you grabbed it very smoothly. But the strange thing is that the black mist wrapped around the Emperor's bone was instantly shattered, and even the entire altar began to collapse, causing a huge commotion, squeezing towards you, and countless blood turned into tentacles, wrapping around you. Chen Ang, this damn old coin, actually has a backup plan. Once the Emperor's bone becomes passive, the mechanism will be triggered and the entire altar will collapse, trying to kill the person who did it. After you have used all your means to break free, you find that the Mother Goddess of Disaster has descended and blocked your way out. Master of the Emperor's bone, we meet again. You, who had not yet had time to fuse that half of the Emperor's bone and break through, were ultimately defeated by the sweeping Mother Goddess of Disaster. You transformed into the human Emperor form, and used a secret method to unleash the high-level immortal scrolls you mastered. At a great cost, you escaped from the hands of the Mother Goddess of Disaster. You escaped from the Kingdom of Golden Sands and prepared to go overseas. Find a place to hide, fuse the Emperor's bone, and advance to the land true immortal. At this moment, you can sense that it takes a certain amount of time for the 2 pieces of Emperor's bones that have been separated for many years to merge with each other. Naturally, it is impossible for it to be that fast. Moreover, a lot of the essence of your Emperor bone has been drained away over the years, and there are countless cracks. It may burst at any time, which undoubtedly increases the difficulty of fusion. Open black lens bracket. But what can I do? Close black lens bracket. You are ready to fight a protracted war for 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years. Once you are invincible, you will appear invincible and sweep away everything. I think that by then, you, who are a late bloomer, will definitely become unimaginably strong. Then, it will be the death date of the human Emperor Lao Deng. With this fantasy of facing the future in mind, you just left the Kingdom of Sands when you were blocked by the human Emperor Lao Deng. This old monster actually left the Great Xia Empire quietly. It seems that he can predict the future and see your escape route. He is ready to finish you off before you fuse with the Emperor Bone and fully grow up. Chen Qian. I've finally waited for you. Open black lens bracket. Boom. Close black lens bracket. You were already seriously injured, and before you could explode your Emperor Bone, you were punched in the head by the human Emperor Lao Deng. Open black lens bracket. You are dead. Close black lens bracket. When Yi Cheng hurried over following the protagonist's final appearance, what she saw was a heart-wrenching scene. The human Emperor Lao Deng is grabbing your headless corpse and tearing it into pieces, eating it bit by bit. Your flesh and blood have become his nourishment, and your Emperor bones have been devoured by him. From beginning to end, not even a bone was left. Open black lens bracket. No, close black lens bracket. At that moment, the aura of the human Emperor Lao Deng almost broke through to that of a celestial being, and even the entire world began to tremble, as if it could not bear his power. I have accomplished it. I have accomplished it. ... Open black lens bracket. Puff. Close black lens bracket. The picture of the future shattered in an instant. You stood there straight, motionless, cracks appeared in your imperial pupils, everything in front of you was blurry, drops of golden tears of blood fell from the corners of your eyes, flowing down your face. Looking too much into the future seems to have backfired, causing you to suffer temporary blindness and severe pain. You slowly reach out your hand and stroke the broken Emperor's eye. Your face twitches slightly and reveals a strange expression, another desperate situation. Chapter 232, The Frightened Mother Goddess of Disaster. Is it going to end? Looking at the future scene in the simulator, Lu Qian's expression paused, and a hint of gloom appeared in his eyes. With wolves in front and tigers behind, it's almost a dead end. Unlike before in the Great Xia Empire, the human Emperor Lao Deng might still be a little apprehensive, but now he is overseas. In the kitchen, Liu Ruyue, who was cleaning the dishes, obviously didn't notice his change in expression, and still had a smile on her face. Is this another desperate situation? Half of the Emperor's bone has just been found, and it has not yet started to fuse. Disaster will come soon. Closing square bracket. The Mother Goddess of Disaster and human Emperor Lao Deng came one after another, which is undoubtedly a fatal matter. Close black lens bracket. If I could give you another 10 years, no, even 5 or 3 years, you would be able to get through this difficult time. But right now, you don't have much time. At this moment, you are only less than half an hour away from death. What's worse is that your Emperor's eye has forcibly peeked into the future too much, and has seen your own death. It is on the verge of collapse and can no longer be used. This undoubtedly completely cuts off your last chance of survival. Closing square bracket. Surprisingly, facing the imminent threat of death, you are extremely calm. You put the golden blood and tears on your hands to your lips, tasted them, and a strange smile appeared on your face. Everyone wants me to die, but I am still so proud and I am still alive today. Open black lens bracket. Swish. Close black lens bracket. The broken imperial pupils glowed with ferocity. In that brief moment, you had obviously prepared a plan to deal with the situation, ready to fight to the death. Anyway, the biggest goal has been achieved, so I think there will be no problem with half of the Emperor's bone being the final reward. With a complete Emperor bone, I think the useless body in the real world can continue to hold on. Open black lens bracket. Next, you should live for yourself. Close black lens bracket. My life is not so easy to take. Bang. You attacked brazenly, grabbed the half of the Emperor's bone in the altar, ignored the changes around you, dragged it out, integrated it into your body, and refined it instantly. The trace of black energy entangled in the heart was instantly swallowed up when the Emperor bone entered the body, and it didn't even last for a second. Swish, swish, swish. The altar begins to collapse, and countless blood-colored tentacles emerge madly, sweeping towards you, as if wanting to kill you, or as if intending to trap you and delay time. I ran away in the magic city, and I also ran away in the imperial city. This time, I will not run away. I will fight with you guys. In a secret place thousands of miles away from the kingdom of Golden Sands, there was a sudden violent tremor, as if some huge monster hidden inside was startled. Open black lens bracket, tear it up. Close black lens bracket. The secret realm was torn apart by a pair of gray hands, revealing a strange evil god with some vague female features, a head with only one huge eye, and no facial features. But the strange thing is that there seems to be a faint bloody knife scar at the corner of her eye. Click, click. In his hand, he was holding half of a god's head that exuded mid-level divine power. The huge eyeball that occupied most of his face actually had a mouth, and it seemed to be gnawing on something. This is the Mother Goddess of Disaster. Closing square bracket. It is obvious that he has been injured in some way during this period and has been hiding in the secret realm to recover. However, at this moment, he was obviously alarmed by some kind of change. His huge eye of disaster stared at the direction of the kingdom of Golden Sands. The altar has been destroyed, and the aura of the Emperor's bone has reappeared. Damn Chen Ang, he actually hid the Emperor's bones in the altar. Thinking of this, the Mother Goddess of Disaster was immediately trembling with anger, and the half of the god's head in her hand was instantly crushed. Open black lens bracket swish, close black lens bracket. A female deity's skin was instantly draped over his body, transforming him into a beautiful goddess. This face has both the gentleness and heroism of an Oriental, and the boldness and passion of a Westerner. Overall, she is somewhat similar to concubine Chu from the Great Xia Palace, and also somewhat like Yi Cheng. This mysterious evil god seems to be somewhat keen on wearing a layer of skin, hiding his true appearance, and walking around in public. Emperor's bone, that's mine. Open black lens bracket swish, close black lens bracket. In just a short moment, the Mother Goddess of Disaster crossed a distance of thousands of miles and appeared directly in the kingdom of Golden Sands. All my followers are dead. At this moment, he sensed that almost all of his believers who remained in the kingdom of Golden Sands were dead. As an evil god whose duty is to bring disaster, he has his own followers all over the world, and they often die without knowing why, and some even kill themselves, or perform blood sacrifices. Evil gods are beings that cause chaos and disorder. The death of some of their followers is not a big problem. Compared to the half-broken Emperor's bone, these are actually nothing. Close black lens bracket. This kingdom is no longer valuable. Boom. The terrifying divine light of disaster erupted instantly, and the entire Golden Sands kingdom was directly reduced to ashes. All the human race had their blood and energy sucked out, and turned into nutrients, and were swallowed up by him in one gulp. That beautiful face became a little rosy, as if it had taken a lot of tonic. A cruel expression suddenly appeared on the face of the Mother Goddess of Disaster, and her figure disappeared like a bubble, appearing in the secret realm where the altar was hidden. At this moment, he has sensed the faint breath of living people in the altar behind the stone door. Let me see, the one who triggered the altar's ban was that little bug, who even tried to plot against my empire. Open black lens bracket puff. Close black lens bracket. The bloody tentacles in the altar suddenly burst apart, revealing a tall figure with a rotten face and pus, wearing the dragon robe of the Emperor of Man. A terrifying and strange pressure from the Supreme Emperor's body was released wantonly, mixed with the aura of a true dragon, almost making the void tremble. The bloody tentacles around them quickly collapsed like jelly, and no one dared to get close. At this moment, in the hands of the tall figure, one hand was holding a limp Lu Qian corpse, and the other hand was holding half of the Emperor's bone. His rotten and pus-filled face was full of madness, and he laughed loudly. Ha ha ha, Emperor's bone, my Emperor's bone, I found it. Snap. The cruel smile on the face of the Mother Goddess of Disaster froze in an instant, her scalp tingled, and her eyes almost popped out. Open black lens bracket digging, close black lens bracket. Chapter 233, True and False Emperor. Open black lens bracket digging, close black lens bracket. How could this old monster appear here? Shouldn't this guy be in Daxia at this point in time? The mother goddess of disaster was already at a loss at this moment. She no longer had the moody and arrogant attitude that she had just displayed. She was only extremely frightened. Open black lens bracket. Good news, he came just in time to stop the thief who was trying to take away the emperor's bone, close black lens bracket. Bad news, the thief inside seems to be more brutal than him. He is no match for him. If they really fight, the odds are 30 to 70 at best. It is very likely that he will be torn apart 7 times in 3 minutes. At this moment, he no longer had any desire for the emperor's bone, and all he had was the possibility of living. Before, one of his clones hid in the Great Xia palace and lived with that man for so many years, and even gave birth to a son for him. Naturally, he knew how terrifying this man was. To deal with this old monster, it would require the cooperation of several forbidden masters or even the upper gods. The rest are just snacks for the other party, chew, and swallow. Open black lens bracket, escape, close black lens bracket. The mother goddess of disaster turned and ran without any hesitation, as if she was afraid that if she ran too slowly, she would be caught up by the human emperor Chen Zan behind her. This scene is in stark contrast to the previous scene of a certain barbaric god. The one who dared to meet this old monster alone and didn't run away as this thumbs up. Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. However, at this moment, she who was scared away did not notice that the human emperor Lao Deng behind her was looking at the direction she ran away, revealing a weird smile. It seems that Lao Deng's deterrent power is still strong. He was scared away by just his back. That's right, with his ever-changing form and a lot of nonsense, his transformed, human emperor form is almost a reduced version of Lao Deng, except for his lack of strength. If you don't pay attention and don't take action, it's really hard to tell. The first crisis has been resolved, it's time for a strategic retreat. Open black lens bracket swish, close black lens bracket. Human Emperor Chen Zan suddenly turned into a yang spirit and entered the captured body. Your body awakens and you open your eyes. You decisively grab the Emperor's bone and merge it into your body. You activate, you can't see me, conceal your aura, and flee in the opposite direction. It is obvious that the scene just now was just a play directed and performed by you, just to scare the wolf. However, you have not forgotten that Lao Deng Chen Zan is really here. With your current strength, it is impossible to face these two ferocious beings. You must divide and conquer them. The mother goddess of disaster is not a fool, she will soon realize that something is wrong. And Lao Deng, that old immortal, I don't have much time left, I must pull everything into my rhythm. Quote closing square bracket. From now on, it depends on whether destiny is with me. Open black lens bracket boom, close black lens bracket. In just a short moment, the mother goddess of disaster almost escaped thousands of miles away without stopping, for fear of being caught up by the human emperor Lao Deng behind her. However, soon, her movements suddenly stopped. Wait, that's not right. She suddenly realized that if the person just now was really the human emperor Chen Zan, she would never be able to escape so easily. She would at least be stabbed a few times and beaten half to death. Before that, she was punched by the opponent from a distance, and her torso almost exploded. Besides, that old man is known to be cruel and ruthless, how could he just sit there and watch her run away? Oh no, that was a fake just now, I got tricked. The mother goddess of disaster, who had reacted immediately, blushed and felt hot in her head. She was shaking with anger. She had actually been frightened into a state of panic by a fake. She even didn't dare to take the emperor's bone. It's not the human emperor Chen Zan. If that's the case, the identity of that person is obvious. Open black lens bracket, Chen Qian, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket boom, close black lens bracket. The fleeing, mother goddess of disaster, decisively turned around and headed back to the kingdom of sands, exploding with terrifying pressure all the way, spreading wantonly. Soon, when he was about to return to the kingdom of sands, he discovered a figure wearing a dragon robe, sneaking around in the dark. Moreover, the aura of the other person is very similar, just like the real thing. Closing square bracket. However, how could she believe it when she had just been deceived? You still dare to play tricks, go to hell. The eye of heaven cannot be wrong. That damn B asterisk 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 D Chen Qian will definitely choose to leave the kingdom of sands and appear on this road next. This time, I am willing to lower my status and launch a sneak attack on you, the damn demon from outer space. This can be considered as giving you enough respect. The real human Emperor Chen Zan is hiding in the dark at this moment, ready to strike at any time and kill with one strike. After experiencing the threat of your Emperor Bone self-detonation in the Great Xia Palace, he naturally understood your threat and was ready to finish you off with one punch. He didn't intend to give you another chance to threaten him with the Emperor Bone. But, after waiting so long, the you in my imagination never appeared. Instead, an evil god with an aggressive momentum came towards the human emperor louding like a madman, Chen Qian, go to hell. Open black lens bracket boom, close black lens bracket. The terrifying power of disaster struck the human emperor Lao Deng, but there was not a single scratch on him, and he was not moved at all. Disaster mother goddess. Open black lens bracket human emperor Lao Deng, close black lens bracket. Boom. A one-sided fight begins instantly. In a short moment, the skin of the disaster mother goddess was torn to pieces, revealing her disgusting and weird appearance, and then she was beaten by the human emperor. The human emperor Lao Deng, who was hit for no reason, was not as good-tempered as imagined, and he obviously recognized the identity of the mother goddess of disaster. BCH, die for me. Ah. The fight has begun. You were fleeing far away, but you instantly sensed the huge movement behind you. Your heart trembled, and you couldn't help but be shocked. Such a commotion seems a bit too terrifying, far beyond the battle you had before. It seems that the human emperor Lao Deng had not yet exerted his full strength in Daxia at that time, and he seemed to have some hidden tricks. And judging from the screams during the battle, it was obviously the mother goddess of disaster who suffered the loss. After all, the fists of the human emperor Lao Deng are not vegetarian. Good luck, mother goddess of disaster. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Chapter 234, Kill the Crazy Human Emperor Lao Deng. After silently praying for the mother goddess of disaster, in your heart, you decisively continued to run without stopping. You are well aware of the horror of the human emperor Lao Deng. Although the mother goddess of disaster is very strong in terms of oppression, the human emperor Lao Deng is the strongest existence in your 8 villain simulations. I'm afraid the mother goddess of disaster can't hold out against Lao Deng for long. At most, I can buy you some time. Judging from the pressure from both sides, and Lao Deng Chen Zan's desire for my emperor bone, it is very likely that he will catch up with me. With his methods, I will most likely not be able to escape. Even if I escape, with the spying of the Eye of Heaven, it is only a matter of time before I will be caught up. This battle is doomed to be inevitable. The closest human kingdom to the Kingdom of Sands is the Crescent Kingdom, which has a mid-level god called the Moon God. Its overall power is also among the strongest among the overseas human kingdoms, second only to a few top empires. If we really want to fight, I must find a favorable location to rely on. At that time, I can also involve the Moon God to share the pressure. Right now, I just hope that the mother goddess of disaster can buy me some more time so that I can fully exert all my means. In Supreme Mode, you have entered into absolute rationality, using the Tang Snake Void Talisman to move through space, and your hands are constantly drawing talismans in the air, as if you are gathering something. Soon, you stepped on the Tang Snake and found yourself in the void. You saw the outline of a human kingdom outside the void. It was the Crescent Kingdom. Suddenly, you feel a creepy feeling coming over you, and your pupils shrink. Because, in front of you, at some point, there appeared a figure wearing a human emperor dragon robe, with a skinny and rotten face, staring at you with malicious intent. I am very surprised that you seem to know my every move and can respond in advance. It seems that you also have some kind of ability to predict the future, which is similar to my eyes of the sky. If that's true, then it's not surprising. No wonder you were able to escape from my hands last time in the Great Xia Palace. It's the second form of the human emperor Laodan. He actually caught up in such a short time. Closing square bracket. This is undoubtedly beyond your expectations. You should know that at this moment, you have only escaped for less than a few dozen breaths. In his hands, he was still holding the head and half of the body of the mother goddess of disaster, as if he had torn it off violently. The head of the mother goddess of disaster seems to be twitching. It is unclear whether she is dead or alive. You idiot, you can't even hold out for this little bit of time. Open black lens bracket. Seeing this scene, you couldn't help but curse. Close black lens bracket. You are not surprised that the emperor's eye can predict the future. The human emperor Lao Deng is not a fool. On the contrary, he is very smart. He must be able to think of the reasons for the consecutive mistakes. What really makes you angry is the mysterious evil goddess, the mother goddess of disaster. When he appeared before, he was still very impressive, but in the end he died like this. What a bullshit evil god, someone has twisted her head off, she is useless. Open black lens bracket Che, close black lens bracket. Disaster mother goddess. If you weren't being held captive and controlled by someone, he would have given you a few words. If you hadn't given him the means, how could he have given away his life in vain and been defeated? Snap. The head of the mother goddess of disaster was suddenly bitten hard by the human emperor Lao Deng. Most of the skull was gone, and green liquid spurted out, just like an octopus with its head exploded. Half of its body twitched even more violently. I just don't know if you can foresee what's going to happen next. Human Emperor Lao Deng suddenly laughed coldly. Snap. The void is agitated, and a rotten giant hand suddenly reaches for your head, trying to burst it. 9 Mysterious sky returning to ruins. Divine thunder. You stimulate your body with the immortal scroll, temporarily increasing your body's reaction ability by 100 times. Your body changes into divine lightning, which shoots out and penetrates the void, but you are still a step too slow. But the Tang Snake Void Talisman was crushed out of thin air, and the resulting turbulence caused the surroundings to collapse. Open black lens bracket Clang, close black lens bracket. The soul-devouring demon slayer sword blocked in front of you, but was grabbed and exploded. Countless blades pierced into your flesh like meteors, and your whole body exploded from the void, smashing heavily towards the crescent moon kingdom below. Boom. I don't know if it was a coincidence or intentional, but while you were falling, your body shape suddenly changed and you crashed directly into the capital of the crescent kingdom. Such a huge movement instantly attracted the attention of the powerful people of the crescent moon kingdom. How dare you, who dares to invade my kingdom? Open black lens bracket boom, close black lens bracket. A powerful divine power was revealed, and a huge full moon appeared above the entire crescent moon kingdom. A goddess wearing the robe of the moon god and a crown of stars suddenly appeared in the sky. She made a mysterious appearance, and the pressure she exuded was much stronger than that of the previous savage god. It is obvious that the moon god of the new moon kingdom was alarmed by the aura of the human emperor Lao Deng. Below, a group of strong female figures are surrounding you who have been knocked down. The Crescent Kingdom is a special kingdom composed of women, and their king is also the moon god. The entire country is full of believers of the moon god. This month god is great. The moon goddess has appeared. What kind of intruder could actually alarm the moon goddess? Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Seeing the moon god coming, the people of Xinyu below suddenly trembled with excitement. Close black lens bracket. But at this moment, they were completely unaware that the mysterious moon goddess was tingling with fear and felt a creepy evil aura. What a terrifying evil aura. Wait, who are you? When seeing the face of the person coming and the dragon robe of the emperor, the expression of the moon god, who was just showing off her domineering aura, changed drastically. Bang! The head of the moon god suddenly exploded, smashed into pieces by the rotten, pus-oozing fist. The remaining body of the god trembled wildly, trying hard to repair itself, but it seemed to be suppressed by some kind of power law, and finally, it exploded. The moon goddess was killed instantly. Open black lens bracket swish, close black lens bracket. Instantly, the entire Crescent Kingdom fell into silence. A pair of incredulous eyes stared at the human emperor Lao Deng above, seemingly unable to believe it. Open black lens bracket, poo, close black lens bracket. Human emperor Lao Deng suddenly spat out a remnant of the evil god's skin from his mouth, with a trace of dissatisfaction on his face. That BCH tasted good, but she escaped from her true form and I didn't swallow her completely. After complaining, the human emperor Lao Deng looked down at you who were surrounded by dust and fog. Although I don't know how you have been able to pull off so many little moves and obtain so many immortal tools and immortal scrolls under my nose over the years. But conspiracies and intrigues will never accomplish anything great. Chapter 235. The Emperor's Body and Bones, Fighting Against the Emperor Lao Deng. Obviously, from the beginning to the end, the human Emperor Lao Deng saw your purpose of fleeing to the new Moon Kingdom, which was to get the Moon God to take action. But this man, who may be the most powerful emperor in the history of the Great Xia Empire, uses his fists to tell you what real power is. With just one punch, the middle-level god level, Moon God, disappeared on the spot. Closing square bracket. The entire Crescent Kingdom instantly fell into despair, shrouded in endless shadows. Done. Done. His Majesty the Moon God is dead. What should we do? What should we do? Without the protection of His Majesty the Moon God, we are no match for this monster. Even if he doesn't kill us, those strange evil gods will not let us go. Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. Just when they were in despair, a sound of footsteps suddenly appeared from the dust and sand mist. Conspiracy. Old man, do you really think I want to play conspiracy with you? From the beginning to the end, I have been ready to fight you to the death. Facing the resentful gazes around you, you calmly walked out slowly, and the wounds on your body appeared with phoenix flames, healing quickly and returning to your peak. You look up at the human Emperor Lao Deng above you. He seems to be very calm about what just happened, and not afraid at all. Today, we will decide life or death, and who will win. Transform. Human Emperor form. Boom. Under the surprised gaze of human Emperor Lao Deng, you transformed into the human Emperor form. You have obtained some characteristics and some power of the Supreme Emperor body. At this moment, the entire Crescent Kingdom has 2 human emperors. Is this your trump card? Changing into my appearance is Yang Shu's 1000 changes. However, it seems to be more special, and it can actually simulate the Supreme Emperor body. It's a bit interesting, but if this is the only trick you have, then you underestimate me. Today, you will stay here completely. Human Emperor Lao Deng was a little surprised, and then murderous intent filled his eyes. Closing square bracket. The Supreme Emperor body that I worked so hard to create has now been reproduced. This child can't stay. Open black lens bracket boom, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Human Emperor Lao Deng made a decisive move and struck with one punch. Close black lens bracket. Old man, you came just in time. Demon disintegration and destruction technique. Activate. 9 steps to heaven. Open. Emperor's bone. Open. Boom. Instantly, your lifespan and soul began to burn. Just like a lit candle, your aura began to surge wildly, instantly crossing the human fairyland and reaching the peak of the human fairyland. Unlocking several secret techniques in succession, and the opening of the complete Emperor bone almost makes your body collapse. But the body of the Supreme Emperor was able to withstand this terrifying internal pressure. The Supreme Emperor bone and the Supreme Emperor body, which are originally of the same origin, have actually begun to merge at a deep level. A golden light of innate supremacy begins to emerge on your body, covering up the rotting and festering skin. Instantly, you are almost surrounded by golden light and turned into a glowing golden light person. This is a complete imperial bone. You found the other half of the imperial bone and began to try to fuse them together. Human Emperor Lao Deng's pupils shrank, and a malicious and crazy expression appeared on his face. Closing square bracket. Because, what you are doing at this moment is what he has always wanted to do. Old man, take my punch too. This time, you don't choose to run away, but confront him head on, punching him in the face as well. Boom. The 2 fists collided, and the terrifying power of the law almost shattered the surrounding space. Countless thunder and flames swept over, and the entire Crescent Kingdom was directly swallowed up and wiped out from the map of this world. Bang. Open black lens bracket. Human Emperor Lao Deng stood still, but his face was as gloomy as the bottom of a pot. Close black lens bracket. You were knocked thousands of meters away by a punch, your right arm was irregularly bent, the golden light on your body was cracked, revealing golden blood, and you looked a little embarrassed. Even the fusion in the body had some problems for a short time. But there was no fear on your face, instead you burst into laughter, because this was the first time you faced the power of the furious Lao Deng head-on. Ha ha ha, old man, you're nothing but that. If I had known you were such a serious threat, I would have gotten rid of you even if I didn't want the Supreme Emperor bone. Human Emperor Lao Deng has murderous intent in his eyes, and he obviously regards you as a real threat. He had witnessed how terrifying the Supreme Emperor bone was. Right now, the complete Supreme Emperor bone, although not yet combined into one, has already begun to pose a great threat. Once it is fully restored, it will be integrated with his Supreme Emperor body. Even he couldn't imagine what kind of monster would be created. Right now, this potential danger must be resolved, even if it means losing the Emperor's bone. Open black lens bracket boom, close black lens bracket. The two sides face off again. You relied on the power of the Supreme Emperor bone and Supreme Emperor body, as well as several forbidden techniques, and for a while, you were able to withstand the huge pressure from Lao Deng and withstand several punches. The layer of light on your body that exudes the light of innate supremacy seems to have unimaginable defensive power. This prevented you from being killed instantly by a single punch like the moon goddess. Open black lens bracket puff, close black lens bracket. Suddenly, you feel dizzy, and your body, enveloped by the golden light, begins to stiffen, almost losing control. At this moment, you seem to be about to explode, and all the strength in your body is in chaos. What's going on? Ha ha ha, I knew that you, a junior who has not yet become an immortal, would eventually be backfired if you tried to drive and integrate forces beyond your ability. If I don't accept you, then heaven will. Chapter 236, Summoning the Spirit of the Future. Seeing that you had problems, the human Emperor Lao Deng couldn't help but laugh heartily, stopped fighting, and revealed a playful expression. Closing square bracket. Back then, he had spent countless efforts to condense the Supreme Emperor body, and had to be very careful, which shows how complicated it was. If the fusion of Supreme Emperor bone and Supreme Emperor body was that simple, why would he have waited so many years? He could have dug up your bones and fused them together long ago. Even I don't dare to easily combine the power of these two, for fear that one mistake will cause them to explode. How dare you do this? You are truly a man of great skill and courage. Fool, do you really think that the reason why I just watched you improve without taking any action was just for this moment, so that you could do an experiment for me first? That is a cursed existence. Do you really think that the Emperor's bone is so useful? This time, I came out specifically to look for you, but it cost me a lot of money. I even created a substitute, which cost me some strength, and I was able to deceive those bastards. Ha 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 ha, after you die from the backlash, I will naturally keep the Emperor bones you leave behind carefully. One day, I will completely integrate the two and reach the highest realm in the dark. I will lead the entire human race to escape this hellhole and make those high-handed bastards. Suddenly, Emperor Lao Deng seemed to realize that he had said too much, and subconsciously stopped the topic. He just stared at you with cold eyes, as if he wanted to see through the changes in your body. At this moment, he is confident that you have lost control and are no longer a threat. The Supreme Emperor bone is a cursed existence. The human Emperor Lao Deng seems to know something, just like Chen Ang before. Besides that, old Deng Chen Zan seems to be afraid of some high and mighty existence. Is there anyone in this world that he is afraid of? With Lao Deng's current power and strength, he has demonstrated his unrivaled invincibility throughout Daxia and even overseas. How could there be someone higher than him? I'm afraid that even the Western gods, the strange masters, and the evil gods would not dare to speak like this. Besides, leading the entire human race to escape from here, what does this mean? Is there something wrong with this world? Lu Qian's pupils shrank, and he began to realize that something was wrong. It seems that the responsibilities shouldered by Lao Deng, the Emperor of Great Xia, are not simple. Could it be that in the end, Lao Deng was really cleared of all charges? In comparison, what he knew was too little. Previously, I had been fighting wits and courage with various forces in Daxia, and was almost confined to one place, so it was difficult to obtain too much information. From the beginning to the end, it's all about living for the sake of living. Perhaps, there are some things that he will know when he has invincible combat power, can defeat Lao Deng, and become the new emperor of Daxia. But for now, let's just get through this crisis first. The situation of the simulated clone is not good. I don't know if I can bear it. Dot 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 dot. Listening to what the human emperor Lao Deng said, you also realize that Chen Zan in front of you actually killed his stand-in in order to hide it from certain people, and his strength is not at its peak. But even so, the strength of this immortal old man is too terrifying. Closing square bracket. What kind of existence could even make this old immortal afraid? But right now, the most important thing is your situation. There is no time to think about it. In the current situation, if you cannot handle the situation inside your body, you will kill yourself. You can feel that the emperor's bone and emperor's body are beginning to show signs of rejection and are beginning to lose control, like a barrel of dynamite that is about to explode and may explode at any time. The old Deng Chen Zan in front of you is not that kind-hearted. He just doesn't approach you because he's afraid that you'll pull him to pieces. But this also gives you a chance. In the depths of the soul, a mysterious immortal scroll that penetrates the heavens and the earth emits a strange light that is so dazzling that it is impossible to look directly at it. It seems to contain some kind of law of heaven and earth. Compared to this mysterious immortal scroll, the 9 mysterious sky returning to the ruins divine thunder seems a bit overshadowed. This mysterious immortal talisman is exactly the immortal talisman you comprehended from the Tai talisman. Before, you have been gathering this trump card that can turn the tables. Old man, my life is tougher than you think. Even the heavens can't take me away. At some point, a mysterious immortal talisman containing the light of the avenue appeared in your hand, and appeared behind you. In an instant, a 9-day Milky Way that penetrated the heaven and earth appeared. Heavenly immortal talisman, descending spirit immortal talisman. This is exactly the celestial fairy level talisman that you comprehended after obtaining the Tai talisman earlier. This celestial immortal talisman is one of the most advanced ones in the Tai talisman. Its effect is extremely simple. It can penetrate the heaven and earth with talismans, affect time, summon one's own spirit of the future to possess, and temporarily upgrade all of one's own means to the level that can be achieved in the future. In short, it means asking yourself at a certain time in the future to play for you. This is a talisman that theoretically has infinite potential, but may also be ridiculously weak. Because the spirit of the future that is invited is uncertain. It could be yourself tomorrow, or yourself a year from now, or yourself 100 years from now. Open black lens bracket. Everything depends on luck, close black lens bracket. What's even more terrifying is that, as a price, in order to activate this talisman, one needs to consume most of his lifespan and all his cultivation before he can succeed. Before, you had been spending a lot of effort on painting, and finally succeeded at the critical moment. Open black lens bracket swish, close black lens bracket. Your hair instantly turned gray, and the vitality in your body was almost drained away the moment the spirit-falling immortal scroll appeared. Even your cultivation was turned into flowing water. Please come, spirit of the future. Open black lens bracket boom, close black lens bracket. The 9 heavens Milky Way suddenly became restless, as if something was brewing, and it surged wildly, as if a vague figure began to walk out. Time talisman. Human Emperor Lao Deng's face changed. He looked at the 9 heavens Milky Way that was summoned by the talisman in front of him. His expression changed. I didn't expect you to have such a trump card. I was hiding this whole time. Although I don't know how you comprehended such a powerful talisman, but now that something unexpected has happened, it is impossible for me to just watch you succeed. Open black lens bracket boom, close black lens bracket. Human Emperor Lao Deng brazenly attacks, appears in front of you, and punches you in the head, ready to kill you completely without leaving any trouble behind. At this point, he will never allow anything to happen. God knows what kind of ghost thing you will summon. Die for me. Chapter 237, Emperor Form. Beat Lao Deng. Human Emperor Lao Deng is not a fool. The so-called talismans all need a caster to continue to maintain. Closing square bracket. As long as I kill you, the so-called time immortal scroll in front of me will naturally be broken. Moreover, at the moment, your cultivation has already been dispersed like flowing water and thrown into the 9 heavens Milky Way. You can't withstand his god-killing punch at all. But facing such a desperate situation, you remain calm and fearless, as if you have already put life and death aside, and your eyes are fixed on the mysterious figure walking in the Milky Way above. What will my future self be like? Trample, trample, trample. In the nine heavens Milky Way, the spirit of the future seemed to sense your deathly aura and finally came out, revealing its mysterious true appearance. Open black lens bracket. The difference between teenagers and middle-aged people you imagine is, close black lens bracket. That turned out to be an old man with white hair, a dignified face, a majestic presence without even getting angry, a skinny body, and a sickly look, without the slightest trace of cultivation aura. The old man's face is very similar to yours, but he does have a sense of vicissitudes of life, as if he has seen through the years. The moment you saw the old man, your heart almost jumped out of your chest, because he didn't have any cultivation at all, just like an ordinary person. Open black lens bracket. Digging, close black lens bracket. This is the spirit of the future, from a certain time period in the future being summoned. Could it be possible that we invited a useless person who doesn't want to bully the elderly and poor? But when you see the clothes on the old man, out of the corner of your eye, your heart, which has sunk to the bottom, instantly recovers. Because the old man's clothes are exactly the same as those of the human emperor Lao Deng in front of him. That is, the five-clawed dragon robe belonging to the Great Xia Emperor. The one who came as the future, human emperor Chen Qian. Open black lens bracket. Swish, close black lens bracket. The old man's eyes suddenly dropped slightly and met yours. Your mind suddenly went blank, but a sentence suddenly emerged in your heart. You only have 18 breaths of time. Open black lens bracket. Swish, close black lens bracket. The nine heavens Milky Way suddenly trembled and turned into a stream of light, including the old man's future spirit, which was injected into your body. At this moment, the originally agitated and out of control, Supreme Emperor Bone, and Supreme Emperor Body, instantly calmed down. You will fight this battle on your own. Die for me. Open black lens bracket. Boom, close black lens bracket. Human Emperor Lao Deng's fist suddenly stopped in midair and was caught by a golden hand. How is it possible? Human Emperor Lao Deng's pupils trembled, and he looked at the scene in front of him in disbelief. Click, click. Under his shocked gaze, you, who were enveloped by the golden light of the natural supreme being, began to change. Cracks appeared on the golden light on your body, and it shattered bit by bit, revealing your fair skin and the handsome and heroic face of a banished immortal. At this moment, the Supreme Emperor Bone and Supreme Emperor Body in your body seemed to be directly fused together under the influence of some kind of power, maintaining a certain balance. Even your cultivation has instantly reached the level of earthly immortal. Is this the power of the Emperor's Bone and the Emperor's Body combined? You feel the terrifying power in your body inconceivably, and feel that you are 100 times stronger than before, almost like you have been reborn, like a completely different person. At this moment, you almost feel that your strength is not weaker than that of the human Emperor Lao Deng in front of you. This form can perhaps be called the Emperor form. Closing square bracket. Although it is unclear why the spirit of the future did not choose to take over the body, but let you continue to fight. It may be because your body cannot bear it, or other reasons. But right now, nothing matters. The important thing is, it's your turn to switch offense and defense. Closing square bracket. This is impossible. How could you have merged successfully? Who are you? Human Emperor Lao Deng doesn't believe that you can be reborn so quickly. I seriously suspect that you in front of me may have been replaced by some kind of existence. Closing square bracket. Open black lens bracket. Come and take care of your people. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Boom. Close black lens bracket. You, in your Emperor form, punched out with such horrific force that the human Emperor Lao Deng was sent flying nearly 100 miles away. Even a huge fist mark appeared on his Supreme Emperor Body, and blood spurted out from the wound. With just one punch, you injured the human Emperor Lao Deng in front of you. Such a domineering power has already reached the level of a celestial being. No, it is even more terrifying than a celestial being. Open black lens bracket. Puff, close black lens bracket. Human Emperor Lao Deng spat out a mouthful of green blood and looked at the huge wound on his chest in astonishment. His Supreme Emperor Body, which he was so proud of, was actually broken by a single punch. This is the strongest physique that is finally condensed from the blood of all the true immortals on the land of Daxia, as well as the marrow blood of the Supreme Emperor's bones. How could the defense be broken so easily? Damn you little b************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************ Boom. The furious human Emperor Lao Deng tears open space, teleports in front of you, and fights with you. The most primitive fight took place right here, almost tearing apart the sky and the ocean, and the surrounding land kingdoms were directly shattered. Old man, are you tickling me, or are you going to die? Emperor's bone. Open. Boom. The terrifying supreme golden light permeates from your body, spreading instantly and enveloping your entire body, forming a strange and complex, Emperor mark, which allows your strength to rise to a higher level again. But at this moment, in the Emperor form, your physical defense is not inferior to that of the human Emperor Lao Deng, and your strength even exceeds that of the other party. You actually suppressed this old monster head-on. Open black lens bracket boom, close black lens bracket. Human Emperor Lao Deng was hit on the forehead by a punch, causing a large indentation. He flew out heavily and crashed into the sea. Ha 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 ha, what a joy. Is this the complete power of the Emperor's bone? Chapter 238, Human Emperor Sword. Emperor Knife. Dig a hole. Lu Qian looked at the scene in the simulator, and suddenly felt an uncontrollable excitement in his mind. After going through countless reincarnation simulations, he finally has the power to defeat Lao Deng Chenzan. Although this power requires a considerable price and has limitations, objectively speaking, this is what he is destined to achieve in the future. I don't know if the mysterious old man is myself during that period of time. His cultivation level is simply unfathomable, and he is probably much stronger than the current human Emperor Lao Deng. Based on this situation, it's only a matter of time before we defeat Lao Deng. Daxia Palace, Xuanwu Hall. A certain human emperor, Lao Deng, who was holding a bowl of divine blood, suddenly felt an ominous premonition, as if someone was plotting against him. Although this ominous premonition was very small and almost negligible, it made him somewhat alert. Huh? Who wants to harm me? Your Majesty, what's wrong with you? Why don't you drink? Next to her, concubine Chu looked slightly surprised as she looked at the human Emperor Chen Zan who had stopped moving, somewhat confused. Don't drink it yet, go down. Until this moment, you finally felt what it meant to lack nothing. Closing square bracket. This seems to be the powerful force that originally belonged to you. Closing square bracket. It's just that, for various reasons, it has been taken away from me. Moreover, you seem to have an inexplicable premonition that the power you have now may not be all of the mysterious old man, just now, but perhaps only a part of it. As for why I don't give you everything, I'm afraid it's because of the limitations of the spirit falling immortal scroll, and you can't bear it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have given you a time limit of 18 breaths. However, is 18 breaths of time really enough to kill the human Emperor Lao Deng? The defense of that immortal skin is not weak. What's more troublesome is that his recovery ability is also amazing. Closing square bracket. Open black lens bracket. Do your best and leave the rest to fate. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket boom. Close black lens bracket. After being punched into the seabed, the human Emperor Lao Deng's brain was sunken and his mind went blank for a moment. How is this possible? I am the ruler of Daxia. How could I be suppressed by a young boy? Damn it. If I were not in my prime, and if I were in Daxia, with the blessing of Daxia's national destiny, I would be invincible. Is this the horror of the devil from outer space? Just by being careless and giving him a little time to develop, he can quickly grow to this level. Perhaps with his qualifications, he can lead the entire Daxia, the entire human race, to fight against those crazy bastards and move towards. No. Such a great cause can only be accomplished by me, the Lord of Daxia. As soon as a certain idea came to mind, it was ruthlessly rejected by the human Emperor Lao Deng. How could a power-hungry animal like him give up his power so easily? What's even more terrible is that the hatred between you is too great. Closing square bracket. He doesn't think you're willing to let him go. Cultivation cannot appear out of thin air. The boy's current situation is like water without roots. It will soon dissipate. You must hold on. Open black lens bracket boom. Close black lens bracket. Before Emperor Laoding could finish his dream, his eyes suddenly blurred and the entire sea was torn into two halves. You appeared in front of him and delivered an Emperor flying kick directly to his forehead. How dare you be distracted? Snap. Instantly, accompanied by the sound of bones tearing, the head of the human Emperor Lao Deng was kicked directly into his chest, just like a turtle. Perhaps it was the gene of kind father and filial son that ran through the blood of the Great Xia royal family, which always gave him a bonus when he beat up Lao Deng. At this moment, you just want to fight back against him for all the frustration you had before. However, this old man's skin is really tough. Even at this point, it still can't be penetrated, right? Closing square bracket. Ah, rebellious son. How dare you? Ah, I want you to die. The human Emperor Lao Deng, who was kicked into a coward, exploded instantly. It was obvious that he had never suffered such a great humiliation. Closing square bracket. Even his biological father, the old emperor, had never beaten him like this. Now, he was beaten by a rebellious son. Open black lens bracket, human emperor sword. Out. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket swish, close black lens bracket. A sword of the emperor that contains the destiny of humanity and carries endless majesty suddenly appears and sweeps towards you. Closing square bracket. This sudden situation also makes you feel a sense of threat as you are preparing to continue to pursue the victory. Open black lens bracket puff, close black lens bracket. Although you dodged quickly, the sword light still tore through your defense in the emperor form, leaving a bloody wound on your face. Is this a celestial level immortal weapon? No, it seems to be more than that. You are somewhat surprised that you didn't realize that the human Emperor Lao Deng actually has such a trump card. But considering the other party's identity, it's not surprising. Closing square bracket. All along, the human Emperor Lao Deng has always used his fists and has never used any weapons. This is something you may have overlooked. Open black lens bracket. Seeing you injured, human Emperor Lao Deng suddenly became somewhat complacent. This sword was made by the first generation of human emperors. After being tempered and worshipped by successive generations of human emperors, it has already surpassed the category of immortal weapons. Today, I can use this trump card, so you can die without regrets. Close black lens bracket. Tear. Obviously, the human Emperor Lao Deng thought that with this sword in his hand, you would definitely die. But the strange thing was that when he held the human Emperor's sword in his hand, black smoke suddenly came out, as if it was burned, and the sword began to tremble, as if it was struggling. Old man, it seems that this sword does not recognize you as the human emperor. You can tell at a glance that the human Emperor Lao Deng is probably unable to control the human emperor's sword, otherwise he wouldn't have kept it hidden all this time. HMPH, you should take care of yourself first. Human Emperor Lao Deng snorted coldly, his face darkened, but he used some unknown means. The human emperor's sword, in his hand quickly regained its composure, and then rushed towards you. Open black lens bracket swish, close black lens bracket. How ridiculous. You have the human emperor's sword, and I also have the emperor's sword. You suddenly reach out and twitch the half of the spine behind you, revealing half of the bloody and cracked, Supreme Emperor bone. Chapter 239, Emperor's Bone. Explode. Although the human emperor sword is powerful, your emperor sword is no less powerful. You just don't believe that the grade of your Supreme Emperor bone can be weaker than a human emperor's sword. As for why you only took out half of it instead of the whole thing, on the one hand, the two parts of the emperor's bone have not yet been truly fused, and on the other hand, if you take out all of it, it might affect your current emperor form. On balance, it is most appropriate to take out half of the emperor's bone to fight the enemy. Closing square bracket. You're crazy. When he saw you pull out half of your own emperor bone as a weapon, the human Emperor Lao Deng was also stunned for a moment, and was obviously a little bit upset. Closing square bracket. I thought I could get rid of the disadvantage by taking out the human emperor's sword, which surpassed the immortal weapon, but I didn't expect you to do this and directly use the bone as a knife. Is there still such a thing? Pulling out the spine and chopping people up at will. Then let's see, is your human emperor sword sharper, or is my emperor blade stronger? Open black lens bracket boom, close black lens bracket. You attacked brazenly, slashing with your sword. The terrifying supreme pressure instantly overwhelmed the human Emperor Lao Deng, who was unable to react. He just subconsciously blocked in front of him with the human emperor sword in his hand. Bang! Open black lens bracket swords clash, close black lens bracket. The terrifying power of the law swept across, Flames and thunder erupted, almost shattering the space, and it was like a terrifying scene of a natural disaster. Closing square bracket. Old Deng Chen Zan, who was holding the human emperor sword, was chopped off by Yu and flew thousands of miles away. He fell heavily on the land of a continent, directly splitting the plate and destroying several small countries on it, as well as countless creatures. Open black lens bracket. Puff, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Human Emperor Lao Deng spat out a mouthful of blood and almost cursed in anger. Close black lens bracket. I thought I could use the human emperor sword to narrow the gap between the two sides and kill this little b asterisk 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 d, but the gap became bigger and bigger. Boom. Before he had time to catch his breath, the human emperor Lao Deng was soon bombarded with attacks again. The two sides fought hundreds or even thousands of times in an instant. In just a few breaths of time, your fight has destroyed nearly 1 million square meters of ocean and land, indirectly destroyed more than a dozen small human countries, the bases of strange alien races, and killed some evil gods who didn't have time to escape. Such horrific signs of battle quickly attracted the attention of some powerful beings, but they just watched from afar and did not dare to approach. What on earth are they fighting? The aftermath of the collision alone is more terrifying than most weird overlords and higher evil gods. The one fighting seems to be the Lord of Daxia, the terrifying demon who claims to be able to bring about the Ragnarok. But who is the other one? He can fight him so hard. No, he can suppress him. Two Orientals are attacking us on our territory. Isn't that a bit disrespectful? How about we join forces and drive them out? That makes sense. You go first, and I'll cover you from behind. Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. The battle between the two of you became increasingly intense, almost reaching the territory of some strange races and terrifying evil gods, but because they were afraid of your powerful strength, they dared not speak out. On a remote island, a girl holding a bloody knife is looking for some treasure. Suddenly, the head she was holding started yelling in a certain direction. The fight has started, the fight has started. Open black lens bracket. Close black lens bracket. I don't believe that the accumulation of nearly 100 years and the foundation of dozens of generations of emperors of Daxia will be defeated by you, a demon from outer space. I'll show you the true form of the Supreme Emperor's body. The human Emperor Lao Deng, who had been suppressed all the way, finally couldn't bear it anymore. His already rotting and festering body began to swell. Dark golden bone spurs grew out of his body, and he began to develop signs of being inhuman. Seeing this scene, even you who have always had the upper hand, frowned and felt that the situation was getting a little tricky. This old immortal has too much vitality, it seems like he is immortal. Even now, there is no sign of him being killed. Moreover, the other party has already vaguely guessed your state and may not be able to last long, so he starts to deliberately avoid you and wants to delay time. But now, there is not much time left for the Emperor form of 18 breaths. Once the time is up, you will be beaten back to your original form and completely lose this invincible power. It seems that a decision must be made. You look at the half of the Emperor's bone in your hand, which is covered with cracks. It seems that you have already made a decision. Bang! Another new collision. The human Emperor Lao Deng had already prepared to be knocked thousands of miles away again. But the strange thing is that this time, he was only knocked back hundreds of miles. Open black lens bracket swish, close black lens bracket. Instantly, the human Emperor Lao Deng suddenly thought of something. Your strength seems to be beginning to weaken. Closing square bracket. You can't bear it anymore. When he thought of this, the human Emperor Lao Deng's eyes suddenly glowed with gold, and he stared at you intently, as if trying to distinguish the real from the fake. But just as he expected, your strength weakened very quickly, like an avalanche. Bang! Another sword clash, causing a horrific aftermath, but to your shock, it was you who was knocked out this time. There was a huge bloody wound on your chest. Damn it, can't I bear it anymore. Your face turned ugly, and you began to retreat, but the human Emperor Lao Deng seemed to see your intention to escape, and he stopped dodging and started to frantically entangle with you. Ha ha ha, damn little b asterisk 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 d, you're starting to get tired. Go to hell. Open black lens bracket swish, close black lens bracket. After some testing, confirming your weakness, Emperor Lao Deng decisively attacked, wanting to pierce your head with a sword. At this moment, your strength has been greatly reduced, and it seems that your life is hanging by a thread. Tear. At this moment, a sword suddenly grasped the edge of the human emperor's sword tightly, allowing the sharp sword energy to tear the flesh and skin, cut the bones, causing continuous severe pain and sparks. But you still didn't let go, but held on tightly, controlling your flesh and blood to clamp the sword, preventing Emperor Laoding from retreating. Oh no, we've fallen into a trap. Human Emperor Lao Deng's expression changed drastically. The next moment, he saw your crazy face, and the Supreme Emperor bone in your hand, which was full of cracks, suddenly shone brightly, bursting out with golden light. Emperor's bone. Explode. Chapter 240. You killed the second stage human Emperor Chen Zan. Seeing that the human Emperor Lao Deng is so difficult to kill, you think that the possibility of killing him within 18 breaths is unlikely. Unless the mysterious old man can continue to lend you power, but this is obviously unlikely. Once the emperor form ends, you will be the one to die in the end. Since that is the case, then the only option left is to take a risky move and directly explode half of the emperor's bone, dragging the emperor with him to death. It's just half of an emperor's bone, just throw it away. If the other half of the emperor's bone had not just been refined and not yet completely integrated, and if it took time for the self-destruction to accumulate, you would have dared to explode at once. Supreme Emperor Bone. Open black lens bracket. No, close black lens bracket. The Emperor Lao Deng is going crazy. He never thought that you would be so crazy that you would actually want to use the method of self-destructing the Emperor's bone. With such a close-range explosion, he didn't dare to bet on whether he could withstand it. Close black lens bracket. Tear. His sharp claws left deep scars on your face, almost disfiguring you, but you remained unmoved, instead laughing crazily. Let's die together. Boom. The cracked half of the Emperor's bone in your hand hits the opponent's forehead heavily, and then explodes. The terrifying golden light instantly penetrates the entire world, swallowing up all existence, including you. Self-detonation at such a close distance is a way of killing both parties. Closing square bracket. At this moment, the entire world was left with only the dazzling golden light, and even the sun and the moon were dimmed. Such a terrifying self-destruction power also instantly affected innocent people. The strange evil gods watching the show felt their scalps tingling and wanted to escape, but it was still too late. Yi Cheng, who was rushing over frantically, suddenly felt a creepy palpitation, as if the most important thing was being lost. What's going on? Why am I like this? Boom. Suddenly, the terrifying golden light in the distance that penetrated the sky and earth and almost pierced through the entire world instantly attracted her attention. At this moment, she, with her sharp eyesight, actually saw a familiar figure from the golden light. Open black lens bracket. Lu Qian, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket on a lonely island. Close black lens bracket. On a huge sword peak, Liu Ruyue was sitting cross-legged, carefully comprehending the mysterious sword style on it. After she and you separated from each other through the void crack, she accidentally fell here, but she discovered an unknown sword move, left by a mysterious strong man, and gained a lot of benefits from the law of sword above. Closing square bracket. Sister Sword Soul said that as long as she could comprehend the sword laws above, the path to breaking through to become a true land immortal would naturally open up. So, during this period of time, she has been comprehending the unknown sword move mentioned above, and her own cultivation has also been improved to the 9th level of heavenly being. My purpose is to improve my cultivation as quickly as possible and go find you. Click. Click. Suddenly, cracks began to appear on the mysterious sword stone in front of me, and the law of the sword on it seemed to be taken away, and it began to become ordinary. The sword is called Zhu Xian. What a domineering name. Suddenly, she seemed to sense something, and looked towards the terrifying golden light that penetrated the sky and earth in the distance. Although it was just a glimpse from afar, she had a feeling from the bottom of her heart that the person she had been looking for was in that direction. Open black lens bracket. The deep sea abyss. Close black lens bracket. A girl who was shrouded in a black abyss and looked like a rag doll slowly raised her head and stared blankly at the direction far away. She felt an inexplicable heart-wrenching pain. At this moment, her dark pupils actually reflected the terrifying golden light thousands of miles away. Open black lens bracket. Brother Liu, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. This lunatic, close black lens bracket. The queen with strange eyes, who was hiding in the darkness far away, watched the scene with a tingling sensation on her scalp. How many strange evil gods and spirits died in the aftermath of the horrific explosion? As early as when you were fighting with the human emperor Lao Deng, she sensed your presence, came quietly, and watched from afar. The result was witnessing the stunning battle between you and the human emperor Lao Deng. She never dreamed that a small person whom she looked down upon at the beginning could actually burst out with such a vast power. It was unexpected that he could fight with the human emperor Lao Deng to such an extent. Close black lens bracket. That brilliant golden light seemed to have some kind of overbearing devouring power. Once it reached, it would devour madly. Even the body of a god could not be restored and would disappear completely. If she hadn't been so cautious and used to getting close to those brainless things, she would have been killed. It would be best if these two monsters died together. Unconsciously, this queen with strange eyes has developed a fear of you in her heart. Based on the previous backstabbing, she can guarantee that if you are alive, you will not let her go easily. Also, once you know what she did to Su Mei, she doesn't want to fight a young monster who is even more terrifying than the human emperor Chen Zan. Open black lens bracket. You will die, close black lens bracket. Just as she was secretly praying that you and your son would die together, the bright golden light in front of her began to dissipate, revealing a horrifying scene. This is impossible. He can still be alive after such a horrific self-explosion. Open black lens bracket. As the golden light fades away, close black lens bracket. You are still standing there. Your emperor form has been broken, your right arm has disappeared, most of your flesh is missing, your face is tattered, almost disfigured, and extremely ugly. Obviously, facing the Emperor Bone's self-explosion just now, even if you have the Emperor form, you have paid a heavy price, but in the final analysis, you are still alive. And right before your eyes, the human Emperor Lao Deng had already disappeared without a trace, completely devoured by the Emperor Bone's self-explosion just now. Only the human Emperor sword remained, held in your left hand. You used your Emperor Bone to self-destruct, paying a heavy price and killing the second form of the human Emperor Chen Zan. Finally won. Surprisingly, at this moment, you don't feel the slightest bit of excitement or joy, but only calmness and a feeling of anxiety. In order to kill Lao Deng, you tried almost everything and put all your efforts on the line. Click. Click. The Emperor marks on your body begin to collapse, turning into dots of golden light and beginning to dissipate. Along with them, your powerful cultivation also disappears. Open black lens bracket. The time for 18 breaths has come, close black lens bracket. With the loss of your cultivation, you instantly became immortal, but the human Emperor sword in your hand showed a trace of power, protecting you and allowing you to remain suspended in the air. But endless fatigue swept over you like a tide, almost making you faint. You have reached your limit. In a trance, the voice of the mysterious old man suddenly appears in your mind. Not even close, but it's enough. Open black lens bracket. Close black lens bracket. This sudden voice made your tired eyes pause, and it seemed as if you instantly regained some strength. But before you can savor the meaning of it, you suddenly see a figure of a girl with a bloody knife approaching quickly in the distance. It is Yi Cheng, the child of destiny. Just as she had predicted the future before, she arrived at the last moment. However, to your surprise, Yi Cheng at this moment had an anxious look on his face, staring intently at the back of you. Open black lens bracket, Lu Qian. Be careful, close black lens bracket. Chapter 241. You died in front of Yi Cheng. Hearing Yi Cheng's cry, your pupils shrank, and combined with the words of the mysterious old man before, you seemed to realize something. Closing square bracket. Could it be that the human Emperor Lao Deng is still alive? But at this moment, you have lost your cultivation and can't do anything. Closing square bracket. Puff. A huge hand suddenly pierces through your chest from behind and directly digs out your heart. Although you have lost your cultivation and become immortal, your simulation talent is still there, and the terrifying recovery ability given to you by the dragon and phoenix talent is still taking effect. You look back in disbelief, but what you see is a pair of huge eyes as indifferent as the sky, without any emotion, suddenly emerging from the void behind you, revealing a look of resentment, staring at you intently. Then, a new figure of the human Emperor Lao Deng began to appear, but the strange thing was that his body did not seem to be real, but more like an illusion, but it carried a powerful pressure from heaven and earth. That rotten, pus-filled face is now only flesh and blood, without skin, staring at you intently, as if it wants to eat you alive. This old guy is not dead yet, and he has a third form. Damn you little b****************, d, you forced me to abandon my body and merge into the heavens. Have you forgotten that from the beginning to the end, my sagely talent was not the so-called Supreme Emperor body, but the eyes of the heavens? As long as the sky is not dead, I am not dead either. You can't kill me. But, do you know that because of you, I have completely cut off the possibility of further advancement? For the rest of my life, I can only be a puppet of this world and cannot leave. You have destroyed the hope of the human race. You damn demon from outer space, you are a sinner of Daxia, you are a sinner of the human race. Open black lens bracket human Emperor Lao Deng screamed hysterically and broke out a shocking piece of news. Close black lens bracket. After entering the third form, he actually used the eyes of heaven to move the heaven and earth and merge them together, becoming almost immortal. However, the price of doing this is too high, so high that even Emperor Lao Deng is unwilling to use it easily. Closing square bracket. This time, if you hadn't pushed him into a desperate situation, he would never have been willing to do this. Closing square bracket. You never thought that the eyes of heaven of the human Emperor Lao Deng would have such an effect, and it can do more than just predict the future. Obviously, you were misled by Yang Shu's words before. No, I'm afraid Yang Shu didn't even know that the human Emperor Lao Deng had this trick up his sleeve. Just because of this information gap, Huang Laoding was able to turn the tables. When Lu Qian saw this scene, he couldn't help but swear. This old immortal is so difficult to kill, and he even has the ability to transform into a third stage. It also merges with the sky. As long as the sky is not dead, then humans will not die, right? Still playing like this, right? This old immortal is much harder to kill than the big boss in some games. Not only are there numerical monsters on all sides, but it also has its own resurrection armor. Fortunately, I used a villain simulator and let the simulated clone go first. If the real body had gone up first, the grass on my grave would have been over 1.8 meters high. In the kitchen, Liu Ruyue, who had just finished washing the dishes, stretched his head out in confusion and looked at Lu Qian, who seemed to be a little out of control. He opened his mouth and wanted to ask, but was afraid to disturb him. ... Seeing your heart being dug out, Yi Cheng, who was almost there, turned pale and wanted to stop it, but it was too late. We meet again, but we are actually separated by heaven and earth. Open black lens bracket, Lu. Shit. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket swish, close black lens bracket. At the same time, a golden light also rushed towards this side at a very high speed. It was Liu Ruyue. ... It's true. One wrong move can lead to a complete loss. You looked at the big hand on your chest and the heart that was taken out, your eyes drooped slightly, as if you were limp and almost fell down. Unexpectedly, you did not feel despair or fear, but only let go of everything and faced death with relief. It seems like you had anticipated this scene. Closing square bracket. You looked at Yi Cheng who was approaching you madly, your eyes trembled, and an expression appeared on your face that you couldn't tell whether it was crying or laughing. In the end, is it still impossible to escape the future that you see? I am going to die again. This feeling is really unpleasant. Open black lens bracket puff, close black lens bracket. Your heart was crushed by the human Emperor Lao Deng, cutting off your last chance of survival. You lowered your head, as if you had lost all your strength, unable to even take one more look. Just when the human Emperor Lao Deng was about to crush you completely from behind, you suddenly shouted, "Emperor Bone! Explode again!" You seem to be planning to detonate the remaining half of the Emperor's bone. The human Emperor Lao Deng was immediately frightened and quickly retracted his hand and ran away, not daring to continue. But the next moment, a scene that made Lao Deng furious appeared. Closing square bracket. Because you actually took this opportunity to reach into your body, pull out the only remaining half of the emperor's bone from your body, and throw it to Yi Cheng, who came rushing over. Yi Cheng. I just want to live. I tried hard. I struggled. I persisted. I shouted. I burned myself out. But I lost. The next way you will walk, for me. Bang. Your body was crushed by the enraged third form of the human emperor Lao Deng, your soul was shattered, your spirit was scattered, and no bones were left. You died in front of Yi Cheng. Open black lens bracket. No, close black lens bracket. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Chapter 242. I will find your. The stars have turned. A force of time instantly acts in front of you, as if trying to revive you who have died. But the resurrection of the dead is obviously beyond the current signs of Yi Cheng. Closing square bracket. Plus there is also the intervention of heaven. She failed. This is the first time she has failed to use the star shift. Open black lens bracket puff. Close black lens bracket. Due to the backlash, she spat out a mouthful of blood, her 3,000 strands of hair turned white, and her face turned pale. The crushed flesh and blood only briefly reunited before splattering in all directions again. She rushed over and was instantly covered in your flesh and blood. She looked like a fool, staring blankly at the scene in front of her, distraught, with half of the emperor's bone still emitting heat in her hands. Dead. Dead. How? He died. How could that be? Didn't they say the evil had lasted for thousands of years? Ah. If you die, who will I look for to settle the score? Ah. You destroyed me. She never thought that you, her enemy, would eventually die in front of her, and in such a tragic situation. Even before he died, he entrusted the emperor's bone to her. On the emperor's bone, there is also a scroll tied up, which seems to be a relic given to her by Liu Qian. That is the scroll of 9 steps to heaven. Obviously, your death was such a huge blow to Yi Cheng that she was in a trance and forgot to avenge you. You know, hunting you down has become your obsession, but right now this obsession has been destroyed by someone. Ha 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 ha, I didn't expect this little b asterisk 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 d to be such a romantic. He's willing to give you his emperor's bones even when he dies. I really envy him. Alright, give me the emperor's bone, obediently, and I will give you a quick death. Open black lens bracket. Seeing you die, the human emperor Lao Deng laughed heartily. Ka looked at Yi Cheng in front of him with malicious intent. He had gone through so much trouble to finally get rid of you, his great enemy. How could he not be happy? Close black lens bracket. You, the demon from outer space, are truly too terrifying. Closing square bracket. With your growth rate, if you were a year or two slower, he would be the one to die. Although, when you died just now, the state you showed was not at all like the previous arrogance, but rather a little weak and a little strange. But the human emperor Lao Deng in the heaven form can confirm that you are indeed dead, your soul has been scattered, and there is not a trace of soul left. Closing square bracket. This undoubtedly gave him peace of mind. Closing square bracket. But to ensure that nothing goes wrong, he still opens his mouth wide and swallows your remains directly, burping. Maybe you left a shadow on him just now, and his head has grown too big. Now he is a little mentally unstable and starts to talk too much. He didn't attack Yi Cheng directly. Of course, this may also be due to Yi Cheng's halo as the destined protagonist. Open black lens bracket swish, close black lens bracket. Yi Cheng, who is still somewhat dazed, trembled immediately after hearing the ridicule and curse from human emperor Lao Deng. His eyes instantly turned blood red, and his face trembled. He looked coldly at the monster in front of him, muttering to himself. I don't accept this result, I don't accept. You son of ABCH, do you think that if you die, you can put an end to everything? I will find your. Open black lens bracket swish, close black lens bracket. Under the influence of destiny, the 9 steps to heaven, bound to the half of the emperor's bone, instantly turned into flowing water and poured into her body. The 3,000 black hairs began to turn white, as if some kind of change had occurred silently. Liu Qian. I will take him down first, to accompany you. Little girl, what is that look in your eyes? As a citizen of Daxia, you actually dare to look at the emperor with resentment. You are seeking death. Human Emperor Lao Deng's face was grim. He obviously saw the resentment in Yi Cheng's eyes. He immediately gave up the idea of wasting time and prepared to kill him. I didn't expect that in the end, it was this old monster Chen Zan who had the last laugh. Could it be that the rumors are true? The position of the Great Xia Emperor gathers the luck of most of the human race in this world. It is implicitly blessed by destiny. It is almost extremely difficult to kill him. The Queen of Trick Eyes, who was hiding in the dark, watched you fall and was also deeply shocked. Closing square bracket. I didn't expect that in the end, you still lost. Closing square bracket. On the contrary, it was the human Emperor Chen Zan, this cunning old monster, who had defeated the old emperor with his weak strength, and now defeated you again, almost as if he had divine help, as if he was really immortal. This guy's luck is simply insanely good, to the point of being ridiculous. However, the human Emperor Lao Deng also seemed to have been severely injured. Although he revealed his third form, he had indeed lost his previously indestructible, Supreme Emperor body. Open black lens bracket. Maybe, this is an opportunity, close black lens bracket. Should we take action? But when she thought of the mysterious luck of this old monster, even she was a little scared. Just when she was hesitating, someone took action. Closing square bracket. Ah, old man, I want you to die. At this time, a terrifying sword energy pressure erupted from a very far distance, revealing the aura of a sword immortal, with the intention of killing immortals, and stabbed heavily towards the human Emperor Lao Deng. It's Liu Ruyue. Open black lens bracket. She also arrived, close black lens bracket. Under the possession of the mysterious sword spirit, she actually entered the realm of the true immortal on earth, and condensed the law of the sword, one of the most powerful killing methods. Bang! Human Emperor Lao Deng subconsciously did not dodge, but stood still, ready to resist. Then he was hit by a sword in the back, his skin and flesh were torn apart, and he was blasted away. Damn it, I forgot that my Supreme Emperor body was destroyed by that little beast. The severe pain hits him, and the face of the human Emperor Lao Deng becomes grim, as if he is slow to react. If the Supreme Emperor body was still there, such an attack would not even break his skin. Closing square bracket. But right now, his Supreme Emperor body has been blown up. If he wants to condense it again, I'm afraid it will take a long time. Right now, his greatest reliance is his sage gift, Eyes of Heaven. HMPH, even without the Supreme Emperor's body, I am still the invincible Emperor of Great Xia. Human Emperor Lao Deng issued a domineering declaration, ready to let this damned woman know what the power of heaven is. Under the blessing of the sky form, he can easily see the future, avoid all attacks, and can also rely on the power of the sky for blessing. God help. You old B****************, D, go to hell. Boom. A new pressure from the true immortal on earth swept across the battlefield again. Yi Cheng actually refined the 9 steps to heaven in an instant, breaking through the realm of the true immortal on earth, and with the blessing of the star's turn, his speed increased by nearly 100 times. Open black lens bracket. Boom. Close black lens bracket. She was furious, holding onto your half-broken emperor bone, and fiercely swung it at the back of the head of the human Emperor Lao Deng. The terrifying force she exerted almost surpassed that of an ordinary true immortal on earth. It was so fast that even the human Emperor Lao Deng didn't react, even though he had foreseen the future and saw his own fate. Bang! Human Emperor Lao Deng was hit by a bone and his skull was sunken. His brain was almost dried up. He flew out instantly. He seemed to see his grandmother vaguely. You know, even when he had the Supreme Emperor body, he didn't dare to use his head to receive the hard Emperor bone. Moreover, Yi Cheng hit him with not just 1 stick, but 6 sticks, all hitting the back of his head. At this moment, even he couldn't help but scream in pain. Ah. Chapter 243, Strange Immortal Scroll. Because of your death, Yi Cheng and Liu Ruyue have gone completely crazy, especially the former. The might they are unleashing at this moment seems to have no limit and continues to soar. She was actually using the shift of time to speed up her own time and overdraw her future strength in advance. This move has some of the same magical effects as your previous, spirit descending immortal scroll, but you consumed all your cultivation and most of your lifespan, while she directly burned her life. In just a few short breaths, her black hair had grown into long hair, and her face had changed from the soft beauty of a young girl to a charming one. Plus, I have your half-broken emperor bone as a weapon, and I'm waving it with all my might, hitting the human emperor Lao Deng's head directly. In comparison, Liu Ruyue seems to be more of a restraining force. The two of them joined forces, and for a while, they actually defeated the Emperor Lao Deng step by step, and he was in a very embarrassing state. Too damn b asterisk 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 asterisk, if that little b asterisk 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 d hadn't destroyed my imperial body, would you have thought you could break my defenses? If it were me in my prime, I would only need a few punches to kill you. Open black lens bracket. The emperor was shaking with anger. When had he ever suffered such an injustice? Close black lens bracket. It's all that damned little beast's fault. Closing square bracket. You forced me to do this. Open black lens bracket swish, close black lens bracket. The human emperor sword suddenly appeared in his hand, faintly revealing a terrifying pressure. Seeing that the human emperor Lao Deng was beaten almost everywhere by the two men, the Queen of Weird Eyes, who was still a little hesitant, immediately put her mind at ease, thinking that this was a great opportunity. Open black lens bracket. So, she decided to take action. Close black lens bracket. If she could subdue the human emperor Chen Zan, control his mind, and turn him into a puppet, then no one in this world would be able to defeat her. With this old monster, why should I take the route of bloodline fusion in order to break through to the master level? Although that method is good, it still has a big weakness before it is completely fused and devoured. Once the target dies, the fusion will fail. Besides, no one knows where the little girl is now. It will be quite troublesome to find her. Open black lens bracket swish, close black lens bracket. The Queen of Weird Eyes has taken action. It seems that she wanted to grab the head, and also to subdue the human emperor Chen Zan. She grasped the timing of her attack very well, and suddenly jumped out from the shadows. Open black lens bracket, Chen Zan, give me, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, humanity is with me, close black lens bracket. Human Emperor Lao Deng exploded, using the human emperor sword to burst out a human dragon-shaped sword energy, directly sweeping across everything, almost suppressing all directions, tearing the space apart. The Queen of Weird Eyes. Open black lens bracket digging, close black lens bracket. She used her ultimate move as soon as she arrived, right? Open black lens bracket. What the hell are you playing? Close black lens bracket. All the servants standing in front of him were destroyed instantly. The Queen of Strange Eyes was instantly destroyed by a sword, leaving only a remnant of her soul running away madly. Open black lens bracket puff, close black lens bracket. Yi Cheng and Liu Ruyue were severely injured and were defeated by the sword energy for thousands of miles. The latter even fell into a coma for a short time. On the contrary, Yi Cheng was holding the emperor's bone to block in front of him. He still had some fighting power and wanted to continue fighting. The human emperor Lao Deng, who launched this attack, was also panting, obviously consuming a lot of energy. But as he continued to snatch the emperor's bone, he suddenly sensed something. Closing square bracket. His expression suddenly changed, as if something big had happened. The emperor's bone is mine. Oh no, it's the aura of those guys. Damn it. It's too late. No time. No more entanglement. Once they find out, it will be even more troublesome. Good luck to you. The emperor's bone will be temporarily deposited with you. He looked deeply at Yi Cheng, whose white flames were beginning to appear before him, gritted his teeth, and made a decision. Open black lens bracket swish, close black lens bracket. By the time Yi Cheng came to his senses, the human emperor Chen Zan had already disappeared without a trace. He actually chose to give up the emperor's bone and left at the last moment. Run away. Seeing the human emperor Chen Zan coming, Yi Cheng's eyes flashed with a trace of confusion, and then she was hit by endless fatigue, almost making her fall down. But she still gritted her teeth and insisted, preparing to leave. At this moment, the unconscious Liu Ruyue woke up and seemed to recognize Yi Cheng's identity. Yi Chen, it's you, right? Leave his bones behind. They are his only relic. Return him to me. Open black lens bracket swish, close black lens bracket. Yi Cheng paused, turned his back to her, and said without turning his head, "This is what he gave me before he died. He is my. Damn it, how could it turn out like this?" With only a remnant of soul left, the ghostly Eye Queen quickly returned to the ghostly Eye clan like crazy, trying to find a way to rebuild her body as soon as possible. But at this moment, she seemed unaware that a doll-like black figure was following her silently. Why do I suddenly have a bad feeling? Open black lens bracket Sans Kingdom. Close black lens bracket. Mysterious secret realm, inside the evil god's altar. In the secret compartment where the half of the emperor's bone was previously placed, there is something hidden. It seemed to be a half-broken strange immortal scroll, with a tiny bit of soul light on it. Chapter 244, Shantian Dao Talisman. Live another life. Under normal circumstances, when you die, this simulation should end. But right now, the villain simulation has not yet been completely concluded, which naturally means. Open black lens bracket you are dead, but not yet dead, close black lens bracket. Back then, with Zon Fuzzy's gift, when you went to the Imperial Master's mansion, you not only got the Tai Lu, a supreme talisman treasure containing 3,000 immortal talismans, but also got half of a broken Shantian Dao talisman, resurrection. With this talisman, even if only a trace of soul remains, you can reshape your body as time passes, revive from the dead, and live another life. As cunning as you are, when you heard that the Emperor's Eye could predict the future and saw the inevitable death, you prepared for the worst and left a backup plan. You are so bold that when you deliberately scared away the Mother Goddess of Disaster, you actually put the Shantian Dao talisman, resurrection, into the altar that originally hid half of the Emperor's bones, and you also left a trace of residual soul. If the deadlock can be broken, you will naturally come back and take back a trace of your remaining soul in the innate Dao talisman, but if the deadlock cannot be solved, then this hidden backup plan is your only chance of survival. At the same time, this is also the fundamental reason why you chose to die in front of Yi Cheng, and before you died, you threw the Emperor's bone to him. Before you died, you also did not forget to dig a big hole for a certain old man and give him a big gift. And now, this is undoubtedly the time for your layout to take effect. But you probably didn't expect that the death of the main body also indirectly affected the consciousness of this remnant soul, and it began to become blurred. In particular, in order to prevent accidents, the human Emperor Laodang also used some curses to cut off all possibilities. Fortunately, with the protection of the two soul-fixing beads and the blessing of the dragon and phoenix talent, this trace of residual soul was still preserved. Closing square bracket. Open black lens bracket. Who I am. Close black lens bracket. I am. Liu Qian. No. I am a remnant soul. Did I lose? However, the plan to escape was successful. Without the Emperor's bone, there is no more constraint. I can safely hide behind the scenes. It's just a little embarrassing. At this moment, an inexplicable drowsiness swept over you, leaving you with only a remnant of soul left. You felt dizzy and fell into a deep sleep. The incomplete innate Taoist talisman, resurrection, also began to activate, emitting innate energy, enveloping your incomplete soul, forming a rough prototype of your physical body. Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. I never thought that one day I would reach this point. Liu Qian looked at himself in the villain simulator with a complicated look, filled with emotion and relief. Obviously, the simulated clone has begun to possess the temperament of those old yin coins, and its methods have also begun to become one set. The Emperor Laodang plays the immortality of heaven, simulates the clone to play another life. Next, let's see whose method is more powerful. There is still a lot of fun to be had in this simulation, and it is not over yet. I just feel sorry for Yi Cheng, who was treated like a fool by the simulated clone. I'm afraid he will turn evil early. Wow, you are training the future big boss here, right? When the time comes, Laodang will have a good time. I just don't know if it will get out of hand. By then, the future, Yi Cheng in red, who can travel the long river of time, will be created in advance for Yi Cheng. Hiss. With her terrifying methods, I'm afraid she has surpassed the celestial beings. Don't waste your time, or you will end up suffering the consequences. Dot 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 dot. Boom. Just when you fell into a deep sleep, waiting to be resurrected and live another life, some earth-shattering changes occurred in the Great Xia Palace. Closing square bracket. When Emperor Chen Zan left Daxia and was fighting at sea, several mysterious and powerful men with terrifying strength suddenly attacked Daxia and attacked wildly, as if they wanted to snatch something. The leader exudes a celestial being level pressure. Closing square bracket. This is the first time in the history of the Great Xia Empire that a celestial being level expert has appeared in public. And the goal of these mysterious strong men is also very clear, which is the Great Xia Palace. The stand-in that Emperor Lao Deng left in the palace was attacked and killed immediately. Sure enough, the old monster's real body left, leaving only a substitute here. This gives us a chance. Once the substitute dies, the old monster will definitely feel something and will definitely turn back. In the Great Xia Empire, with the blessing of humanity, the old monster is not easy to deal with. Find those evil stars as soon as possible. This is what the adult personally instructed. We came from the lower world and will be suppressed, even if we brought those treasures. Demon Star. Demon Star. These mysterious strong men actually came for the 9 big sun demon stars of that year. Moreover, they also seem to not exist in this world. Soon, these mysterious strong men had a violent conflict with the Imperial Astronomical Observatory of the Great Xia Palace, and a fierce fight broke out. Although the mysterious organization, Qin Tianjian, that is loyal to the Emperor of Man has a number of true immortals on Earth, it is showing signs of retreat in the face of these mysterious and powerful people who are well prepared. Soon, the Big Sun Demon Star was snatched away by these mysterious strong men, and they were ready to escape. But someone suddenly suggested, why not take this opportunity to destroy Daxia directly? When this proposal was made, the mysterious celestial being at the head was also tempted. But at this critical moment, the human Emperor Lao Deng returned. You damned bastards, you actually dared to attack Daxia while I was away, and even dared to touch my demon star. You all must die. The furious human Emperor Lao Deng held the human Emperor sword and entered the heavenly form, bursting out with terrifying combat power, fusing heaven and earth, and killed several earthly immortal level warriors with one sword, severely damaging the leading heavenly immortal. However, due to the previous battle with Yu, the consumption was too great, and the aura of the human Emperor Lao Deng became confused for a moment. Among those mysterious strong men who came from the lower world, only the severely injured celestial being escaped with the great sun demon star, and the rest died under the sword of the human Emperor Chen Zan. Seeing the entire Great Xia Palace reduced to ruins, Emperor Chen Zan could not help but roar in anger. Open black lens bracket. Ah. Close black lens bracket. My demon star. One day or another, I will make you self-important bastards pay me back 100-fold. The mysterious strong men who came from the lower world, are these the beings that the human Emperor Lao Deng was afraid of before? What forces are behind them? As soon as they appeared, there was a celestial fairy, several earthly fairies, and many human fairies. What a terrifying background. Who are they? Moreover, they actually want to snatch the Great Sun Demon Star. What is their intention? Are they coming for me? Lu Qian's expression remained unchanged, but a storm was brewing in his heart. He did not forget that the 9 great sun demon stars came when he was born into this world. Who knows if the mysterious force is interested in the big sun demon star, and will also be interested in him. Trouble. In the blink of an eye, a year has passed. Closing square bracket. The evil god's altar in the secret place of the kingdom of sand suddenly showed some unusual movements. The entire secret realm suddenly began to vibrate strangely, and countless sand and soil fell, almost burying the entire altar. Bang! A large, dirty hand suddenly stretched out from the secret compartment of the altar, breaking through the sand and stones covering it. Chapter 245. All cultivation is lost and he becomes immortal. I am alive again. Bang! From the sand that buried the altar, a figure was climbing out little by little, revealing his figure. After a year, the Shantian Dao talismans, resurrection, finally took effect. You successfully lived a second life and returned again. Due to your appearance, the entire secret realm began to shake, as if some strange phenomenon was about to appear, but it was quickly suppressed. The innate energy in your body begins to dissipate, and the incomplete innate Taoist talisman begins to dissipate and turns into powder. After such a long time, I finally survived. A year. That's not a lot of time. It's not like the last simulation where I had to wait for 10 years. It seems like there's still time for everything. I don't know what's going on outside. I gave the Emperor's bone to Yi Cheng before. With her heaven-defying luck, I'm afraid even Lao Deng can't snatch it from her. I may be able to take it back in the future. With Yi Cheng's luck and talent, plus my Emperor bone, I'm afraid he will be able to take off in this year, and give Lao Deng a hard time. Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. But the strange thing is that after you were resurrected, you did not feel as powerful as before. Instead, you felt an inexplicable sense of emptiness, and your heart trembled immediately. What's wrong with me? Wait, my cultivation has not recovered. The worst situation still happened. That innate Taoist talisman is incomplete, causing it to lack some important functions. This is the last moment before I die that brings me back to life. You panted and looked at your hands, only to find that they were a pair of wrinkled arms, and you were stunned. Closing square bracket. But when you lowered your head and saw your own face reflected in the special metal altar beneath your feet, you were completely stunned. I see that you are no longer the young boy you were before, but an old man with a haggard face, white hair, and a slightly hunched body. But you no longer have any cultivation or spiritual energy, and are no more than an ordinary person. Obviously, even if the incomplete Shantian Dao talisman brought you back to life, it still couldn't make up for the loss of your lifespan and cultivation caused by your previous 9 steps to heaven and spirit falling immortal scroll. At this moment, you have lost almost everything, including your cultivation, lifespan, and imperial bones. Open black lens bracket. From the looks of it, I'm afraid he won't have many years left to live. Close black lens bracket. My whole body is not much stronger than an ordinary person, only my simulation talent still exists, which I can barely use. But even so, it's not what really shocked you. What really shocked you was that you were actually almost identical to the mysterious old man, human Emperor Chen Qian, you had seen before, except that you were not wearing the dragon robe of the human emperor. No way. You stare blankly at the reflection under your feet, your expression changes, and you obviously realize something. An absurd idea suddenly emerged from my mind. But soon, you suppressed it again and I regained my composure. Closing square bracket. It's better not to think too much. Instead of thinking too much, it's better to think about the next arrangement. The current situation is not what I expected. The talent of late bloomer has not taken effect at this time. What is going on? You find that everything seems to have developed beyond your original expectations. The only thing to be thankful for is that you are still alive and have resolved the biggest crisis. You don't have to worry as much as before. Right now, without the Emperor's bone and cultivation, there is almost nothing that can attract others. It seems that there is nothing to be afraid of. Open black lens bracket only, close black lens bracket. You lowered your head, looking at your old, lifeless body, with a complicated look in your eyes. It seems that you don't have many years left to live. It seems that the price of survival is quite high. You try to practice again, but you find that your reborn body has very poor talent and it is difficult for you to comprehend the sense of qi. You start to get started. It seems that this body is not suitable for cultivation. But fortunately, your simulation talent was given by the villain simulator. Even if you have lost your cultivation, you can still use it. You discovered that the secret realm that hid the evil god's altar was on the verge of collapse. Fortunately, you left and returned to the kingdom of sands, but this place was already only a ruin. You are silent for a moment, planning to use the dragon and phoenix talent to summon the true dragon Dharma image, take yourself away from here, find a new place to live, and at the same time investigate what happened in the Great Xia Empire in recent years. You just don't believe it. There is always a way out. I have come out of so many desperate situations before. How could there be no possibility of a comeback now? In fact, what really makes you feel confident at this moment is actually the mysterious old man who was invited with the spirit descending immortal scroll. At this moment, you can be sure that this is your future. Boom. Just then, you discovered that a huge ship suddenly appeared on the sea in the distance, with the logo of the Great Xia Empire on it. The people on that ship seem to have spotted you and are heading towards you. Chapter 246. Yang Hong is dead. Seeing this scene, you were moved. Not knowing whether it was an enemy or a friend, you subconsciously wanted to release your spiritual sense to investigate. Now that you have just been resurrected and have lived another life, in such a sensitive situation, since there is a ship from the Great Xia Empire coming, you really can't doubt it. Could it be that the human Emperor Lao Deng spied on your resurrection through the eye of heaven, and sent someone to kill you? But at this moment, you have lost all your cultivation, and even your original Yang God consciousness of the land-level true immortal has been shattered, becoming weak and difficult to release. Sorry, I forgot that I have lost my cultivation. However, I think it shouldn't be that old immortal. Otherwise, he wouldn't have no killing intent at all. You, the white-haired old man, frowned slightly, as if you were a little uncomfortable for a moment, but you were not overly worried in your heart, and you had your own confidence. Closing square bracket. Although you have no cultivation, you have powerful talents such as dragon and phoenix talent, nonsense, and slippery feet, so ordinary people can't kill you easily. Closing square bracket. It's a pity that the golden talent, heavenly official's blessing, was broken. Of course, if it really comes to a critical moment, you can try to deceive yourself with nonsense at any time and try to return to your peak. Afterwards, I don't know if this body can withstand it, and whether it will die on the spot. Closing square bracket. Open black lens bracket. However, your worries soon disappeared. Close black lens bracket. Because, when the Daxia ship approached and stopped at the coast, a little girl of about 7 or 8 years old appeared above and looked at you curiously. Grandpa, have you been stranded in this place? You are so pitiful. Do you want to go back to Daxia with our Chamber of Commerce? This ship was a caravan of Daxia engaged in foreign trade. It had just finished its trade with a foreign country and was preparing to return to Daxia, passing through the kingdom of Jinsha. In the end, I happened to see you, and saw your Daxia appearance, and your tattered and dirty clothes, which made you look a bit pitiful, so I took the initiative to give you a ride and wanted to take you back. Of course, you can see that the reason why the Chamber of Commerce came close was because of the little girl's words. Her identity seems to be not simple. She may be the daughter of a powerful noble in the Great Xia Empire. Faced with the invitation, you thought about it for a while and then agreed. It just so happened that you were planning to find out about the situation of the Great Xia Empire. You boarded this ship. The others on the ship were a little wary of you. After all, an old man in the wilderness, in the ruined kingdom of sands, might have some problems. But when they saw your appearance, they were immediately terrified and felt a sense of suppression from their blood. Perhaps it is because you have grown older that the power of the dragon and phoenix in you has become more and more terrifying, and it has finally been restrained, but it still gives people a feeling of being indescribably precious. For a while, the strong men in the caravan didn't dare to question you. Only the little girl Zhao Xuaner dared to approach you. Grandpa, did you also flee from Daxia because you heard the rumors? During this period, many people have been saying that His Majesty has gone mad and has health problems. Grandpa, you give Xuaner the feeling that you are even more powerful than Grandpa. Xuaner and Grandpa have met His Majesty before, but you give Xuaner the feeling that you are not as good as His Majesty. Are you an immortal? Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. The little girl Xuaner seems to be very curious about you. She surrounds you and chatters non-stop. Although you are only 19 years old at the moment, your mind has become calmer as your body has aged, so there is not much abnormality. You just casually respond with a few words and know the origins of the caravan and the little girl. The identity of this little girl is not simple either. She is the daughter of the Zhao family, one of the 24 dukes of the Great Xia Empire. This caravan is also from the Zhao family. You don't really care about the identity of the little girl. What you care more about is the dramatic changes that she has said about the Great Xia Empire over the past year. Through Xuaner, you learned about the dramatic changes that took place in the Great Xia Palace a year ago, the abduction of the 9 demon stars, and the mysterious force with the celestial being. After the Emperor's bone disappeared and the monster star was robbed, the human Emperor Lao Deng seemed to be a little crazy. Coupled with his previous injuries, he began to become moody and ordered people from all over the country to hunt monsters and pay tribute with blood. If the task was not completed, it would be a capital crime. What's even worse is that the princes of royal bloodline began to die suddenly one after another. Even some powerful people in the Great Xia Empire disappeared mysteriously. Rumors spread that the emperor might have gone astray and had some problems. For a time, people were panicking and some people began to choose to leave Daxia and go overseas. Even those celestial families were somewhat afraid and began to secretly leave a way out overseas. Zhao Xuan'er is obviously one of the Zhao family's backup planners. She follows the caravan out and contacts various countries. Interestingly, you haven't heard any news about Yi Cheng in the past year. Instead, I heard an even weirder situation from Zhao Xuan'er. During this period, small-scale attacks by strange alien races have frequently occurred in the waters of various parts of the Great Xia Empire. This kind of thing has not happened for a long time. Since Your Majesty ascended the throne, the strange and alien races have never dared to invade Daxia. Xuan'er heard from Grandpa that those strange races might be controlled by the Strange Eyes race. I heard that His Majesty has asked the Imperial Observatory to intervene. Strange Eye Clan. You are somewhat puzzled. Does the Queen of Weird Eyes have the guts to provoke Lao Deng? This guy is crazy. Was he beaten stupid by Lao Deng's iron fist? Or is there another reason? Alas, in the past year, too many things have happened in the Great Xia Empire. Many people have died and many people have been frightened. Even Yang Hong, the great Xia god of war, was executed by Your Majesty. Open black lens bracket. Yang Hong is dead, close black lens bracket. When you heard other news before, you always looked calm, but when you heard that Yang Hong had died, your expression froze. Your uncle, who hid himself so well, died just like that. Closing square bracket. This has never happened before in many simulations. How did he die? Hey, Grandpa, don't you know that this incident caused a lot of trouble in the Great Xia Empire at that time, and even spread overseas? Half a year ago, Yang Hong, the great Xia god of war who should have been confirmed dead many years ago, suddenly appeared in the rebuilt Great Xia Palace, showing the power of a true immortal on earth, and attempted to assassinate His Majesty with the intention of rebellion. The elite soldiers of Daxia who had disappeared that year also appeared out of nowhere and fought a bloody battle with the Imperial Guards. But in the end, Yang Hong failed. He was defeated and captured alive by His Majesty, and was executed by slow slicing. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Chapter 247. Kaianer, if you die, your uncle will have no relatives in this world. After hearing the news of Yang Hong's death, you were silent for a few moments. The other person's death means one less person among the few people who treat you well in this world. Closing square bracket. No matter what the other party's purpose was before, they are generally biased towards you. Some things can only be judged by deeds rather than by the heart, and no one is perfect when it comes to the heart. You obviously don't believe what Zhao Xuan'er said about rebellion. Yang Hong doesn't seem to be such an impulsive person. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to endure the situation back then and find ways to protect you. Did he hear the news of my death and couldn't hold back, or was it because the human emperor Lao Deng started to plot against him, or maybe it was both? Old Deng has been using blood sacrifice tactics again over the years. Is he planning to reshape the Supreme Emperor body? It seems that this old immortal still refuses to give up. That's right, with the indestructible turtle shell of the Supreme Emperor's body, on my body, I do feel a different sense of security. At least for now, apart from my emperor's bone, no one else can break this turtle shell. The difference between the human emperor Lao Deng who has the Supreme Emperor body, and the human emperor Lao Deng who does not have the Supreme Emperor body, is almost two different things. The difference in the sense of oppression is too great. You have vaguely seen the purpose of the human emperor Lao Deng. This old immortal is most likely to have your blood marrow in his hand as a backup. No, when you died a year ago, it seemed that Lao Deng swallowed up all your flesh and blood. Your flesh and blood has been nourished by the Supreme Emperor bone for many years, and you have also swallowed 2 bottles of marrow blood. I'm afraid it will be a great tonic for that old immortal. If this is used as a foundation, it is not impossible to condense a new Supreme Emperor body. It seems that this old immortal has not stopped his desire for the Supreme Emperor bone. I think, During this time, in addition to wanting to gather blood sacrifices and condense the emperor's body, he was also looking for Yi Cheng's trace. You also got confirmation of this from Zhao Zhaner. The upper echelons of the Great Xia Empire currently have a bounty order for the blood knife girl, and the bounty is as high as 5 immortal artifacts, as well as a promise from the Great Xia Emperor to accept a disciple. Once found, regardless of life or death, you can get a reward. Not to mention those magical artifacts, the promise of accepting a disciple alone can drive many people crazy, not only in Daxia, but also overseas. It's just that they probably don't know how a certain emperor died. Killing fathers and sons is a routine operation. A mere disciple, I'm afraid they would just grab him and chew him and eat him if they were hungry. No wonder Yi Cheng hasn't shown up in the past year. He must have been hunted down by various parties and is hiding. This time, Yi Cheng, who holds the emperor's bone, will experience your special treatment for the first time. When we pass by the Shiwen Mountains, please stop for a while. I will get off there. Open black lens bracket. You suddenly spoke. Close black lens bracket. At present, the returning caravan will first go from the south, pass through the Shiwen Mountains, and then return to the imperial capital. You plan to go to the land of hidden dragons to take a look. Since you are going to live in seclusion behind the scenes, you naturally need to find a comfortable place to live. Overseas, you are not familiar with it, so you have to look for. Since you have returned to Daxia this time, you plan to live in seclusion in the land of hidden dragons, in the Shiwen Mountains. During the 5th simulation, you stayed in a peach blossom residence in the land of hidden dragon for 20 years and had a child with Su Mei. You are not unfamiliar with this place. Now that Yang Hong is dead, I think the human emperor Lao Deng will no longer be watching this place. That's a good place to go. And, if you remember correctly, this hidden dragon land seems to be hiding the secrets of the Great Xia royal family, and there is a powerful evil dragon sealed underneath. It's just that you still don't understand the specific situation. Snap. In response to your words, the helmsman in charge of steering the caravan's ship followed your orders subconsciously, as if he had heard an order from someone higher up. Soon, the ship docked at the edge of the Shiwandishan Mountains. You guys go back to the capital and pretend you've never met me. Before getting off the boat, you suddenly spoke with a power that confused the mind and distorted thoughts. Nonsense took effect, and everyone present had confused looks in their eyes. By the time they realized what was happening, you had already left, and their memories of you were also forgotten. Although you can kill people to silence them, you don't think it's necessary. Hey, how did we land here? Isn't this the Shiwen Mountains? How strange. Shouldn't we be returning to the capital? Shuaner seems to have forgotten something. Forget it. Don't think about it anymore. Let's go quickly. Grandpa must be waiting anxiously. You are alone, passing through many levels with ease, entering the land of hidden dragons, and arriving at Hidden Dragon City. But what came into view was an empty city, without any human presence, but there were a lot of blood and corpses on the ground. After Yang Hong's rebellion failed, all those who were related to him in the entire Hidden Dragon land were killed. Even the city lord's mansion where Yang Hong lived was razed to the ground, and the grass on the ground was uprooted. This old man is so cruel to cut off the roots. Seeing that there is nothing to check in Hidden Dragon City, you walk towards a hidden mountain in the back. You climbed to the top of the mountain and saw 2 graves. One was Yang Shu's, and the other was a new grave, which turned out to be yours. Open black lens bracket, Tomb of Chen Qian, close black lens bracket. This tomb seems to have been built for you by Yang Hong. You, who are careful, discovered a line of subtle words in the corner of the tomb. Kyaner, if you die, your uncle will have no relatives in this world. Open black lens bracket swish, close black lens bracket. You, old and aging, stood there in silence, looking at your own grave with complicated eyes, wondering what you were thinking. But at this moment, you seem to have undergone some changes since you set foot in the land of hidden dragons. There seems to be a slight itching feeling on the spine behind you, looming. Chapter 248. Hide behind the scenes and watch the changes. The Emperor is immortal, and his bones are indestructible. I see. Open black lens bracket woo, close black lens bracket. Just as you were feeling the subtle changes in your body, you suddenly heard a subtle humming sound, and then you saw a small hole dug behind your grave. Inside the small hole is a little yellow puppy that has just opened its eyes. Closing square bracket. The little puppy clumsily crawled out, stirring up dust, and then, with a trip, rolled directly to your feet, rubbing against your trouser legs affectionately, making cute little noises, and looking at you with watery eyes. This is the first life you encounter after arriving at the land of hidden dragons. I think this little puppy is closely related to my uncle's yellow-winged monkey king. It must be his offspring. Before dying, I hid a child to watch over my grave. You and I are destined to be together. As you grow old, you look at the little puppy at your feet and the strange things that gradually appear in your body, and you have already made a decision in your heart. Closing square bracket. You can now roughly determine that being here seems to have some special benefits for you. According to what Yang Hong's shadow said before, this place should be the burial place of the emperors of Daxia throughout the ages. It is also the dragon vein of Daxia and has some special meaning. No matter what you say, there is one thing that cannot be reversed, that is, you have the purest blood of the Great Xia royal family flowing in your body. At the same time, you may be the most orthodox one at present. Even the Emperor Lao Deng cannot compare to you. Who made Lao Deng make himself look like a ghost, and his blood is polluted. Before, even the human Emperor's sword was reluctant to admit its identity and wanted to break free. This place is destined for me. You can feel that perhaps you have returned to this place because of some mysterious cause and effect. You plan to settle down here. You need time at this moment. This little puppy under your feet can be a companion for you, so you don't get too lonely. You take a step forward and walk towards the Taohuaju, which is hidden very deeply in front of you. The little puppy behind you makes a whining sound, stirs up the yellow sand, and jumps after you. Open black lens bracket when you decided to live in seclusion in Taohuaju. Close black lens bracket. Not long after, a group of imperial guards entered the hidden dragon land, took over the place, and were responsible for guarding it. Among them, there is an acquaintance you know, the young Qin Tianjian who was one of the two Qin Tianjian strongmen who suddenly appeared when you went to see Zan Fuzzy before. This seems to be a woman. The Imperial Observatory was punished by His Majesty for not keeping a good eye on the 9 demon stars a year ago. The 2 guarding stars, Zhe Lao and Yu Lao, were even eaten alive. The entire Imperial Observatory began to panic. Da Xia is now in a turbulent time. It is too dangerous to take the imperial capital. This time, I took the initiative to apply to come to this land of hidden dragons, to guard the burial place of successive emperors. This is also a way to escape. This place is guarded by the evil dragon, so our coming here is just icing on the cake. Since he was planning to fool people here, the young Imperial Astronomical Observatory only sent people to search the surroundings roughly, and then began to live in Hidden Dragon City, but he did not find you living in a secret peach blossom residence in the back mountain. Open black lens bracket Daxia Palace. Close black lens bracket. Just as you expected, the human Emperor Lao Deng is indeed condensing a new, Supreme Emperor body, and is salivating over the half of the Emperor's bone, in Yi Cheng's hand. And the culprit of all this is actually you a year ago. Close black lens bracket. Emperor's body. Emperor's bones. Emperor form. Emperor form. Is that the form I've been searching for so long? A little b asterisk 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 d who has only been practicing for a few years can use that form to burst out terrifying power. If I can obtain the terrifying form. Open black lens bracket. Close black lens bracket. When the time comes, this world will not be able to hold me back, it will not be able to hold me back. Open black lens bracket. Close black lens bracket. Not enough. Still not enough. The blood sacrifice offerings are too bad. Should we swallow all those rubbish from the Imperial Observatory? I've already eaten several anyway. Forget it. Those rubbish are still useful. Let them go overseas. Let them catch some evil gods. Tear. The crazy human Emperor Chen Zan danced with joy, his face was covered in scarlet blood, and the human Emperor dragon robe on his body was stained with blood. Under his feet, there are round things with teeth marks on them. That is the head of Yang Hong, Zan Fuzzy, and the old man Zhe Lao from the Imperial Observatory. Open black lens bracket the Weird Eye Clan. Close black lens bracket. I finally succeeded in swallowing my sister's soul. It took me so long to get just a trace of her soul. Is this the authority of the weird emperor? She is only one step away from becoming a weird overlord. No wonder she keeps jumping up and down, wanting to eat me and also want Brother Liu's emperor bone. This time, the Weird Eye clan will be completely under my command. Su Mei, wearing a new dark outfit and with a charming and seductive figure, looked at herself in the mirror in front of her. She no longer had the previous innocence, but was more of an evil darkness. Who could have thought that Su Mei actually ate the residual soul of the Queen of Weird Eyes and became the new taboo weirdness? Over the past year, there have been strange attacks around the Great Xia Empire, and she is behind it. It's been delayed for so long, but it's finally done. I hope you won't make me wait in vain. A cold voice came from the corner. It was actually a cold swordsman, Liu Ruyue. I don't know when these two got mixed up. At this moment, she looked at the Su Mei, who had changed so much in front of her, and her expression was somewhat complicated. Closing square bracket. I don't know what you would think if you were still alive, seeing Su Mei like this. The once ignorant and obedient girl seems to be dead. Don't worry, I have already mobilized the entire Gatong clan to search for Yi Cheng's whereabouts. She won't be able to hide for long. By then, Brother Liu's emperor's bone can naturally be taken back. That is not something she can get her hands on. And that old monster who killed Brother Liu. They all have to die. Chapter 249. The decisive battle begins. Yi Cheng reappears. Since Su Mei has swallowed the Queen of Weird Eyes, she has ascended to the top in one step. She has also teamed up with Liu Ruyue to deal with Yi Cheng and the human emperor Lao Deng. Has this girl changed so much? Lu Qian raised his eyebrows, also a little surprised. Such a change is indeed too different from his previous impression. I'm afraid he was stimulated by something. That's right, I was controlled by the Queen of Weird Eyes before, stabbed the simulated clone, and witnessed the death of the simulated clone. But with their strength, it would be very difficult for them to deal with Yi Cheng and the human emperor Lao Deng, even if it was just one of them. The possibility should be small. In the blink of an eye, another 5 years have passed. Closing square bracket. You have been living in seclusion in Taohuaju, and have not been discovered by the Imperial Guards and the strong men of the Imperial Observatory stationed here. Instead, you have been enjoying a rare quiet time. Closing square bracket. Even the little puppy that he picked up that year has become fat and strong, mighty and domineering, and is much bigger than the previous Yellow-Wind Great Sage. Closing square bracket. Moreover, the man and the dog would occasionally go down the mountain to Hidden Dragon City to get some daily necessities for their own enjoyment. With the talent of, you can't see me, the entire Hidden Dragon City almost subconsciously ignores your existence. Closing square bracket. Even the powerful person from the Imperial Astronomical Observatory did not notice your presence. Closing square bracket. In the past 5 years, you found that you were still unable to practice, but your body seemed to have undergone some special changes. Some kind of power similar to luck beneath the hidden dragon land has quietly merged into your body. Is it the dragon energy of the Great Xia dragon vein? Is it attracted by my bloodline, or is it because of the pseudo-golden talent of dragon and phoenix talent? Or maybe it's because I'm the only remaining human emperor bloodline in this world. You are keenly aware that you can steal the dragon vein chi of this place unconsciously. No, the dragon vein land is willing to be absorbed by you. You can feel your simulation talent quietly improving. Among them, the most exaggerated one is the pseudo-gold talent, dragon and phoenix talent, which seems to be showing signs of advancing to the real golden talent. Of course, the itching on your spine is getting worse, and from time to time you'll feel like you're being burned by fire. This place is destined to be with me. During this period, you naturally discovered the true entrance to the hidden dragon land. It is a secret place where the remains of past emperors and some secrets are buried. But you didn't enter. Not to mention there's a mysterious evil dragon inside. If you accidentally touched the seal and attracted the human emperor Lao Deng, it would be no fun. You tried your best to fake your death and hide behind the scenes, but you didn't want to be exposed so soon. And your favorite hobby is to drink tea with your dog in the tea house in Hidden Dragon City and listen to news from the outside world. Open black lens bracket. These are the external channels you can currently access. Close black lens bracket. And you also heard about the changes outside the hidden dragon land in the past 5 years from it. 5 years ago, the original queen of the Weird Eye clan fell, and a new queen took her place. She united with several powerful forbidden weirds, declared war on the Xia Empire, and summoned countless weird waves to attack Xia. This incident caused a great stir at the time. All the overseas countries kept silent, wanting to see how the Great Xia Empire would react. It was obvious that they had ill intentions. In the past 5 years, the two sides have experienced many wars. The Great Xia Empire fought against the strange alien races, and many were killed and injured. It is said that there is a mysterious female sword fairy from the human race on that strange alien race. She is extremely powerful and can kill countless people with just one move. Even the true immortal level warriors on land cannot escape. Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. Over the years, the Great Xia Empire has lost many cities, including the Magic City, and seems to have fallen into a disadvantage. But the mysterious Great Xia Emperor has not shown up yet. It seems that something went wrong. The outside world is already talking about it. When you heard the news, you knew that the new queen was Su Mei, and the mysterious female swordsman was Liu Ruyue. These two female protagonists of destiny had already joined forces. But in your heart, you don't think these two people can deal with the human emperor Lao Deng. You have personally experienced the cruelty of this old immortal. What really deserves your attention is that Yi Cheng, the son of destiny, has been holding your emperor bone for the past 5 years, but has never shown any signs of disappearing from the face of the earth. This method of hiding and running away is even more terrifying than what you did back then. At this moment, you are also curious about where the other person is hiding. Another 5 years have passed. The battle between the strange alien race and the Great Xia Empire has entered a fierce stage. Close black lens bracket. Perhaps because she couldn't find Yi Cheng's whereabouts, Su Mei began to lose patience and decided to get rid of the Great Xia Emperor, the enemy who killed Brother Liu. Open black lens bracket. The decisive battle has begun, close black lens bracket. Boom. On this day, a terrifying battle aura emerged from the direction of the Great Xia capital, and then, an overwhelming number of strange alien races attacked Great Xia. Digital taboos mysteriously descend. Among them, there is even a forbidden master, who is comparable to a celestial being. With such a terrifying camp around, Su Mei is confident that she can kill the human emperor Lao Deng and avenge Brother Liu. Closing square bracket. Just as they were discussing how to divide the Great Xia Empire, they suddenly heard a crazy laugh. Ha ha ha. It's done. This war started quickly and ended quickly. Closing square bracket. After 10 years, the human emperor Lao Deng actually reshaped a new, supreme emperor body, which is even more powerful than the previous one. The human emperor Lao Deng, who has returned to his peak, once again showed his invincibility. He defeated a forbidden weirdness with one punch, and even the master of weirdness was blown up. The powerful land immortals of the Imperial Observatory blocked all escape routes, almost shutting the door and beating the dog. It is obvious that the human emperor Lao Deng had seen the future with the help of the Eye of Heaven, and set up this trap for the strange alien race. Even Liu Ruyue and Su Mei, the two female protagonists of destiny, could not withstand the fist of the human emperor Lao Deng and suffered a miserable defeat. I didn't expect that after all these years, there are still people who want to avenge that little b******************. Just when Su Mei and Liu Ruyue, the two destined heroines, were about to die on the spot, a mysterious figure quietly appeared, blocked the human emperor Lao Deng, and saved them. It turns out to be Yi Cheng, the son of destiny who has disappeared for many years. Chapter 250, Late Bloomer, starts. Open black lens bracket. Yi Cheng appears, close black lens bracket. This child of destiny who had been missing for nearly 11 years actually appeared at this critical moment. Moreover, he blocked the attack of the human emperor Lao Deng with one move. Closing square bracket. This sudden scene shocked everyone instantly. Closing square bracket. I haven't seen her for 11 years. Her appearance has changed a lot. She is now beautiful, with white hair and a charming demeanor. She is wearing a red robe and her eyes are cold, but her appearance back then can still be seen. She held the half of the emperor's bone in her hand, but it was indeed less golden and more bloody, less noble and domineering, and more weird and crazy. Open black lens bracket. Yi Cheng. It's you, close black lens bracket. Even Su Mei and Liu Ruyue who were rescued were dumbfounded. Their eyes were full of disbelief. How could the other party appear to save them? They don't remember that Yi Cheng has any special relationship with them. If you were still alive, you might be able to save them. It's you. You finally showed up. My emperor's bone. At this moment, the person who was most excited when seeing Yi Cheng appear was none other than the human emperor Lao Deng. His greedy green eyes stared at the supreme emperor bone in Yi Cheng's hand, not hiding the covetous light. Open black lens bracket. I can't take my eyes off this one. Close black lens bracket. I didn't expect that there would be such a big surprise delivered to my door today. Yi Cheng ignored the human emperor Lao Deng in front of him, and glanced coldly at the astonished Su Mei and Liu Ruyue below, full of contempt, and said something shocking. You two pieces of trash. If it weren't for the fact that you two were his favorite playthings when he was alive, I would have watched you die a long time ago. In the past 10 years, did you really think that you two useless guys could have caused such a stir? The evil gods overseas, Daxia's Imperial Astronomical Observatory, the gods of various countries, and other strange masters have been eyeing you covetously, and the Queen of Weird Eyes, do you really think she has no backup? If I hadn't been protecting you behind the scenes, you would have died long ago. I thought you guys could still use up some of this old man's energy and be of some use, but now it seems that I overestimated you. I don't know why he would have fallen for two pretty girls like you back then. Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket hiss, close black lens bracket. Su Mei and Liu Ruyue, the two destined heroines, were dumbfounded. Closing square bracket. At this moment, they all felt inexplicably chilled and their scalps tingled. Who could have imagined that the target they had been searching for had actually been hiding beside them from the beginning to the end, watching their every move? Especially Su Mei. She has been saying for years that she wants to take action against Yi Cheng and take back Brother Liu's imperial bone. As a result, they were actually protected by each other all along, and at the same time, they became the flags of each other. If it weren't for the crazy woman Yi Cheng who was concerned about your death for some reason, I'm afraid she would have killed both of them. This time, they really benefited from your help. Closing square bracket. I see. No wonder I couldn't find any trace of you in all these years. It turns out that you were using these two people as a shield. I overlooked this point. It seems that Yang Hong's sudden rebellion was also your doing, just to attract my attention and buy them some time. But I'm very curious, what did you say to Yang Hong that made him willingly die? Human Emperor Lao Deng suddenly realized, his eyes suddenly became serious, and he looked at Yi Cheng in front of him with a little fear. Back then, when he heard that the Weird Eye clan was different, he had the idea of taking action himself, but was interrupted by Yang Hong, so he handed the matter over to the Imperial Observatory. Afterwards, it was interrupted for various reasons and dragged on until now. There are some things that the dead don't need to know too much about. Yi Cheng's eyes were cold, and he spoke in a tit-for-tat manner. Boom. Open black lens bracket. A real war has begun. Close black lens bracket. After 11 years, Yi Cheng once again showed his terrifying fighting power, and actually crossed several realms and reached the earthly immortal realm. In the head-on confrontation, he was evenly matched with the second-stage human Emperor Lao Deng, and the half-broken Emperor bone in his hand kept colliding with the human Emperor's sword. At this moment, her strength is already infinitely close to your Emperor form. Back then, let everyone know what it means to be in a different situation, don't bully a poor girl. This scene instantly shocked Su Mei and Liu Ruyue. They didn't expect Yi Cheng to have made such a terrifying progress. However, the Great Xia Empire is always the home turf of the human Emperor Lao Deng, with the blessing of the Great Xia's humane destiny, and he also has to take into account the two wastes, Su Mei and Liu Ruyue. Gradually, she began to lose the upper hand, but her expression remained unchanged, instead a hint of determination flashed across her face. Open black lens bracket. Boom. Close black lens bracket. Another collision, Yi Cheng was punched into the space crack by the human Emperor Lao Deng, and his consciousness was almost blurred. Closing square bracket. The Emperor Lao Deng was overjoyed and wanted to take the opportunity to snatch the Emperor's bone. Closing square bracket. The Emperor's bone is mine. Emperor's bone. Explode. Yi Cheng actually used some unknown means to trigger the half of the Emperor's bone in his hand, and at the critical moment, he self-destructed. Open black lens bracket. No, close black lens bracket. The desperate shouts of the human Emperor Liu appeared one after another. Close black lens bracket. Boom. The terrifying self-explosion was demonstrated in the imperial capital, piercing through the heaven and earth again. In the end, Su Mei and Liu Ruyue, the two female protagonists of Destiny, were affected by the aftermath, suffered severe injuries, fled in a panic, suffered heavy losses, and almost died. Human Emperor Liu was once again affected by the self-explosion, but perhaps because Yi Cheng was not the real owner of the Supreme Emperor Bone, he was unable to control the strength of the self-explosion, resulting in a much less powerful self-explosion. Although the human Emperor Liu was severely injured, his new, Supreme Emperor body, was not destroyed. On the contrary, Yi Cheng was affected by the shockwaves of the self-explosion and was blown into a space crack, where he was devoured tragically. His life or death is unknown, and his whereabouts are unknown. Ah! My imperial bones! Seeing that the Supreme Emperor's bone was gone, the human Emperor Liu instantly lost all reason and went completely crazy. He ordered the destruction of the Weird Eye clan and the capture of the escaped Su Mei and Liu Ruyue. Instantly, all the experts from the Imperial Observatory came out in droves. At the same time, he also used the power of Eye of Heaven to tear open the space, trying to find Yi Cheng's body and whip it, but found nothing. I don't know if the body was devoured and decomposed. When the remaining half of the Emperor's bone exploded, you, who were far away in the hidden dragon land, also sensed it. Closing square bracket. After the Supreme Emperor bone completely disappeared from this world, the strange itch on your spine suddenly disappeared, as if it had never appeared. Soon, you also learned about what happened in the imperial capital and Yi Cheng's situation through the guards stationed here. Life and death unknown. A strange light appeared in your eyes, and you seemed to want to take a look, but in the end you sighed helplessly. Obviously I didn't expect this result. If Yi Cheng had endured for a few more years instead of rescuing Su Mei and Liu Ruyue, then it might have been Liu who died. In the blink of an eye, another 10 years have passed. Closing square bracket. Open black lens bracket. A shocking change occurred in Daxia. Close black lens bracket. Su Mei and Liu Ruyue who escaped were captured by the Mother Goddess of Disaster, and were prepared to be given to the human Emperor Liu as a gift in exchange for something. You are lying weakly on the rocking chair in Taohuaju, and at your feet is a big yellow dog as strong as a calf, looking at you worriedly. You can clearly sense that there is very little vitality left in your body. I am afraid that you will not live for many days. I have been hiding behind the scenes for 21 years and have done nothing. Am I finally going to die? You slowly closed your eyes, as if you were unwilling, but helpless, ready to wait for death. At this moment, you are already too old. You are too old to have the energy to go to the imperial capital and fight to the death. Closing square bracket. Could it be that all the previous guesses were wrong? Open black lens bracket whirl, close black lens bracket. Suddenly, you seem to hear the sound of the nine heavens star river washing over the heaven and earth, and a familiar old whisper appears. That's about right. Boom. The body, which was originally extremely weak and almost as weak as a lamp, suddenly burst out with a huge and terrifying energy, sweeping over the whole body. Open black lens bracket, late bloomer, is launched. Close black lens bracket. Thank you for watching. Continue exploring the fascinating world of Chinese novels with us. Hit that subscribe button on Chinese Novel Audiobook to stay updated with our latest stories, and never miss out on a great listen.